And hello, and welcome to this night's episode of Like Clockwork with the wonderful folks from Nat21. Woo! Yay! Just putting in audience sound effects in my head. Welcome everyone new and old to this one shot. So I am Robbie Rolling. I will be your GM for the evening. Hopefully not being too mean, but mostly just trying to keep up with, I'm sure, what's going to be plenty of chaos and fun. So let's get to the fun part and introduce our players like we always kind of do here. We're going to determine who introduces themselves first with a random roll. So go on the stream overlay by stream overlay. All right. So honestly, I think everyone wants to know what's going on with that big light and beautiful mech piece. So Paolo, why don't you go take us away?
Oh, hello. I am hi, I'm Paulo Garbanzo. But I am Korg 3000 or Korg 3K for my friends. I'm still computing whether or not I have friends, but I am the manservant assistant of Horatio, and I pretty much bulldoze whatever gets in his way. That's
Wonderful. Me. Amazing. Thank you very much, Korg 3000. That's full name. And so, having heard that, let's go right to the man himself, Rowan and Horatio.
Hello, I am Rowan the Bard, and tonight I will be playing Horatio. I own a boat. I own many things. In fact, I love adventure. My solution to challenges is to throw incredible amounts of money at it. Also, Korg, have you seen him? He's a beast. How you doing there, K3K?
Oh, just fantastic.
Amazing. And go ahead and introduce yourself a little bit as well.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
I am Rowan the Bard, purveyor of geek folk performers at Renaissance fairs, and writer of Star Wars sea shanties in my spare time, and also having fun juggling two newborn children. So this is a welcome respite.
All right.
And he actually juggles them.
Yeah, no, Paolo has taught me a lot. I'm working on the third, but two's good for now.
Yeah, you keep it simple at first. No worries.
Yeah.
All right. And while I'm sure nothing bad will ever happen this whole one shot, I'm sure we'll want to introduce the person who can fix Korg 3000 were anything to happen. Please go ahead and introduce yourself here, Mab. Oh, we can't hear you. I think your mic is muted.
I'll fix that in post. It's great. I got it working now. I could just, if you want, I could put it up on the lip and just kind of hit it with a couple spray shots. That's okay. I got this. Huh? So hey guys, I'm Mab. I'm Mab, just Mab, DC's own sideshow girl. I am all over the place until the time of COVID, at which point I have been virtually everywhere. Most of the time I'm spending my life on the Nat21 Adventures channel and slaving away in the dice mines for the Overlord Garbanzo. He's very generous, kind, and he's listening. And this evening I will be playing the part of Gidget. Gidget is like a kind of like a goblin, but I tinker. I just really like fixing things, and maybe Korg 3000 will finally notice me someday and realize that I'm the goblin for him, and then I got a boss, and the boss pays me great. Like, you gotta love a boss who is the enabler of my romantic interests.
Amazing. And before we get any HR calls about that, we're going to move on over to our final player for the evening. Adamo, please introduce yourself and your character, if you could.
Hi, I'm Adamo Ignis. I do a fire and danger show at different Renaissance festivals around the country. So you can go ahead and find me and see where I'm going to be and come out and see some shows. But when I'm not doing that, I'm playing all kinds of RPGs, having a great time, and I'm just really excited to be here. My character is Naja, and I'm playing a still mind. So before we go throwing, robots and tinkers and money at all kinds of problems, I want to make sure that we think about all of our options first. And hey, if I end up walking away with some sweet loot in the process on this mission, all the better.
Amazing. Wonderful, wonderful. Well, it is a pleasure to have you all here, but without much further ado, let's get some opening shots going here.
If we could give
So,
Sherry a shout out, thank you for the sub first.
yes. And of course, a huge shout out and thank you to McSherry. Oh, yes, with a bunch of gifted subs. Woo! Thank you so much, McSherry.
Ooh.
I am, you're wonderful. You're always, McSherry, mod for the channel as well as a staple of the chat. So, and chat, of course, you may notice as you are getting some channel points here that there are some fun redemptions that our players will have to just sit back and see what happens as well as I will. But with all that said, let's get into Like Clockwork. So our very first shot is going to be of the vastness of the void space and inhospitable, seemingly endless, and then floating down in front of camera, taking up the entire view. We can see a massive asteroid floating through it. Looks like it maybe no one's seen it. No, wait, we know someone has, because rotating through the shot, we can see two large open bay doors. One of which seems to have been blasted, and we do see a small ship flying towards it. But we now cut backwards further away. Horatio, what do you think the ship looks like? You own a boat, so what does your boat look like?
Very similar to the ship. It's sleek. It's sexy. It's got lots of shiny parts on it. That's for sure. That's how you know it's a good ship, when it's decked out in that nice chrome. So that when you pass a star, when any passing star, it just catches the light, creates a prism. Glorious.
It's its own self-defense mechanism as well. Yeah.
Pretty much. Anyone looks at that, and honestly, it has happened at least 2 occasions that there have been potential pirates that have been so dazzled by this ship's beauty, they said, I cannot interfere with a work of art of that magnitude.
Amazing. So we see, well, the camera sees a giant lens flare, and then we kind of cut to a different angle, and then we see this resplendent vessel behind the one we saw before, which seemed much more ramshackle and more armed for battle. But this one, opulent and extremely Horatio is what it is. But where do we see the man of the hour, as I think he would like to consider himself, on the ship? Are you a hands-on kind of boat owner?
Let me tell you, if you think the outside of the ship looks nice, you should see my captain's chair. It is cush, comfy, nice arm rests with a big backing there. I had Gidget work up all kinds of little monitors and gadgets and everything. So the entire ship is technically at my fingertips and command. However, I prefer to delegate most of the actual running of the ship to my trusted crew. So one of the most important things in my armchair is the speaking tube that allows me to give out some friendly suggestions to my crew.
Of course, friendly suggestions. I'm sure your crew's favorite. And Gidget, what would you suppose your role on the ship when it's on flying would be?
Oh, definitely got to keep that thing running smoothly, making sure that everything's like tip top, and I think we can optimize the engine a little bit. I noticed that we dropped there was a little pause there, and it seemed like it was like sticking a little bit, but I think I can get it in there. I've got some tools. Let me just
Perfect. Well, Gidget, why don't we have the first roll of the evening? You're gonna roll me a tinkering check. So this is using your brains, but then you get some extra bonuses because you're a tinker and you have good tools. So should be in there in your skills attacks. Just go ahead and
get to hit the button, huh?
yeah. So either double click or drag it into that big side dice log.
Double clicking. Oh.
Oh.
Look at that. Oh,
Woo!
22.
22. With a 22, it's very clear that this was made to be aesthetically pleasing, but it is not fuel efficient or as fast as it could be at all. You tell me, what kind of modifications, what kind of fixes do you want to do?
First of all, I tell you another thing. I mean, the engine makes like no noise whatsoever. It's like so quiet. Yeah, you don't even know it is running. Well, now I have it like it's like a little samba.
Okay, yeah.
You know, it's like some rhythm to really just get more working. I want to get groove on. And then the other thing I did, I definitely going faster, of course, because who wants to like take a leisurely trip? I mean, you've seen it. Thinks, oh, look at that. Okay, that was nice.
So, what's popping in my head is the YouTube videos of people like singing, playing along to the washing machine kathunking, and so it's just like a bunch of mechanic like all like in synchrony, and then you also like can link up some like you can have just some maracas and stuff in there like linked on, so they're just like being shaken by the ship going.
It doesn't sound anything like dubstep now.
No, it's just this cantankerous. But I will say, can I get a strong roll from both Horatio and Nadia as this is going?
Strong roll.
Yes.
Absolutely. So that's just a straight up yep. Strong?
Exactly. So you're just going to roll whatever your strong stat is.
Let's see if I'm doing this right. Is it a double click or a single?
Double click, or you can like hold and drag into the rolling box here.
A gentleman's 3.
A gentleman's 3. All right. So as you are in your plush deluxe captain's chair, all of a sudden, first of all, you start to hear, it sounds like maybe like a jam band of some description coming from below decks. You can tell me whether it's up to your taste, but also you are thrown backwards into your chair, sinking deep into the plush velvet seating as the ship basically like doubles in speed as the engine seems to be overclocking and moving at a much higher speed. Nadia, where would you be? And I'll see if you need to make a strong roll as well.
GM, a cat named Meredith, has walked onto the scene.
So I'm going to be polishing, sharpening my various weapons, because while I always hope not to use them, I like to be prepared to use them. So I probably have found as quiet a corner as I can, free of maraca sounds rolling with the engine and all of that.
That probably you're probably have to be on like the front deck. So as a note, all ships in the Aether sphere have an atmospheric generator that isn't just within a little bit above, so you can have a whole deck. So I imagine probably like on the very front of the top deck, probably where there's probably a nice like jacuzzi and some lounging chairs to watch.
100%.
Thank you.
Very peaceful.
Can you make me a quick strong roll just as the ship lurches forward here, just to make sure nothing happens?
Sure. Look. Oh. I'm going to try it a different way because I don't think that came up.
Okay.
My rolls don't seem to be showing up in the chat, but I got an 18.
If you roll them inside the chat box or double click
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. Let me try that again.
Uh-huh.
That is less than an 18.
Weird. It's an 18. Weird. You rolled an 18. I won't take the good roll away from you just for technical things. So you almost like you sense a disturbance in your tranquility as the distant sounds of maracas penetrates your meditative kind of routine, and steady yourself for the coming storm. And as you kind of regather yourself, whatever that may look like, you hear a from behind you.
I take a look.
Behind you, you see a just stark snow white cat with a collar that says Meredith.
Oh, hello, Meredith. Have you come to join me in this beautiful, peaceful oasis on the ship? I'll lean in and go to pet the cat.
Make me a charming roll, if you would.
I would.
Oh,
You are allowed like the one scratch under the cheek, and then very clearly Meredith kind of like gives the. If anyone knows cats, so you know what I'm talking about.
I see how it is, Meredith. You need some time to assess the situation, sit and think on our thoughts about our existence together, and soon you will open up to me.
As you end that nice little speech, you realize Meredith is cleaning themselves, instead of seem to be fully heeding your words. But we're gonna cut away from the pair of you briefly. Core 3000, what do you think your main role on the ship would be?
well, when I'm not defending Horatio from fans or perhaps not so fans, I am usually just cleaning the ship. So, there I go. Someone has to make this ship shiny.
Yes, as the sheer volume of wax and cleaner needed to keep the chrome shiny through all of its travels that's actually my guess probably like 60% of the cargo hold is full of like wax and cleaner to keep the ship spick and span and shiny. So can I get an aware roll from you, Cork 3000, as you're kind of cleaning up around the windows and decks of the ship?
Let's see what we got.
Ooh. All right.
I'd
so
say that's sort of very aware, despite my minus.
yes. Oh, so you don't have minuses because right now you have your wounds clicked off as if you had 5 wounds. So let me unclick those. So that should have instead been a 21, which is an amazing roll. So, Korg, as you are kind of polishing one of the many windows, I'll say like a big bay window in like front lower decks, with like it's like a front arcing bay window with an aquarium for the half that's in the walls of the ship. So it's glass all the way around. You can see a asteroid not too far away, which you can only assume is the destination of where Horatio is headed. With a 21, you notice a couple things about this asteroid. First of all, you can see 2 entrances to what you can only assume to be the facility that may or may not have some mithril or other valuable goods. One of which you can see lit up and fully operational, as if this facility still is powered and operating. The only problem is, first of all, the giant airlock doors are closed, and there are 2 automated ballistae turrets sitting outside of it. And there is also another entrance, looks like maybe a slightly smaller entrance, maybe used more for cargo and unloading, which is completely destroyed. It is like the big opening door, low bay, is completely exploded and gone, as is the defense mechanisms. Now, there's not going to be any air there or atmosphere, but it will not be defended. So that's what you see.
Perhaps I shall tell Horatio. I'll go over there. Oh, Horatio, we have options.
Talk to me,
I feel
Korg.
that you're always going to choose the one with the blasters. But there are not blasters. We have entrances to this asteroid.
So you're saying one of these entrances has blasters and the other one does not?
Yes. However, the one that seems safer to you squishy types, does not really have that much, oh, what's the word? Air? That's it.
Yes. Difficult issue, but not insurmountable. Can you describe these blasters?
Large.
Actually,
Would I
try to
say
get
they
in
are more for anti-ship or anti-person floating through space?
Ship.
Anti-ship.
And
Large.
because they're automated, they will not necessarily be dazzled by the opulence of this vessel. I will actually try to hail Nadja.
Right. Unfortunately for Nadia, I don't think there's anywhere you can be on the ship where there is not a speaking tube. So
Oh,
feel
goodness
free.
no.
Feel free.
I tried.
Nadja. Horatio to Nadja.
Yes, Horatio.
Nadja, we have a bit of an issue here, and as a valued member of the crew, I'm curious to hear your opinion. Korg informs me that there are two options for how we can board this asteroid. First is through the main door, which has air and also has two blasters that look like they're specifically built for ships. The other way looks to be less guarded, but completely lacks oxygen. What are your thoughts?
I wonder if Korg would be able to go into the entrance that does not have air and perhaps find some way to make it have air, or find some way for us to get in another way near that. I am a little concerned about the blasters, and unfortunately, my knives and my sword are not much use in space.
That is a fantastic thought, Nadja. Thank you very much. Korg, I believe we have a plan of attack. What we're going to do is we're going to take the not blaster route. Once we get in there, you will leave the ship and see if you can find a way of securing oxygen for the rest of us. Failing that, well, I'm sure we've got some spacesuits around here somewhere.
That's a great. As you mentioned that, as a note, you all do have some safe tech. It's a helmet apparatus that you can put on. A reminder that is also a ping that you can use instead. But basically, you have limited use of it. It's maybe 10 minutes worth of breathing in the void. So if it was just walking through a door, easy as pie. But you don't know the current state of the entrance to the facility.
Sounds like a perfect case for a robot scout.
Great.
The
So
non-blaster route. That's probably a first.
I like to keep things. I like to vary things up a bit, Korg.
wonderful.
Keep them guessing, right? Very well. How close can we get to the blasted remains of the bay before I have to leap from this ship?
With the 21, I would say that it will take a bit of fancy flying, but that there is enough room to get the ship into the bay physically. It's not like the door is gone, but the pieces are floating in and around the bay. There's potential for damage to happen, but as long as the pilot is doing well, should be able to get inside the bay, no problem.
No damage.
Great.
No
All right. So
Horatio, fly the ship then.
So Horatio, it sounds like you, of course, are not the actual pilot of the vessel.
More of an overseer.
Of course. So what I would like is for you to roll your charming to represent how well you suggest and coordinate your pilot through this difficult maneuver.
Excellent. All right, a charming roll it is.
Indeed. And I will point out, if the grand total is not to your liking, you have a couple options. First of all, you do have an ace, of course. You can always reroll dice. You can also, as a as a noble, you can activate abilities to get +2 to your social rolls here for a scene. So
An activating ability costs me what?
1 overload, and as a reminder, that overload doesn't do anything until you're above your limit, and then you start taking damage. But otherwise,
and how often does overload get restored?
When you all take a rest. So whether that's a short rest of just taking stock or going to bed.
You know what? I'm going to be a little honest. The pilot that my family hired for this vessel is he's a little bit of a jerk. I don't like spending too much time talking to him, so I'm sure that subconsciously affects the very curt way I sort of contact him and just say, get as close to there as you can.
It definitely does. As the vessel approaches, the multiple various degrees of debris and wreckage you can hear the scraping of metal and breaking of chrome as multiple hunks of broken door and ship scream across the skin of the vessel. I'm going to say right now that I'll roll to see what kind of subsystem is going to get broken.
Oh no.
Okay. So as you all are flying through, Gidget, you are keeping an eye on the engines, but there is a massive like a crunching and crashing sound as I'll say Nadia and Korg 3000 can probably see basically a large jutting out piece of debris goes into the hull, and Gidget, the atmospheric generator is damaged. You have maybe 30 odd seconds of support if it's not fixed.
I'd like to fix it, please.
Okay. So as you rush over, also everyone else will get the indicator that is broken as well. If there's anything anyone else would like to do, as they like heading down to the.
Is my Tinker's?
Ultranon, my expectation. No, go ahead, Gidget.
Oh, I was just wondering if my Tinker's assistant comes in handy here.
Sure, you could certainly. I'll allow you to get yourself a little bonus. Give yourself a +1 for just a little bit of help with your Tinker's assistant. And anything else? Anyone else want to do? Sorry, I know that. Horatio.
I'm going to berate my pilot. Algernon, my expectations were low, and you did not disappoint.
You see Algernon just kind of like, yeah, totally.
Oh,
make an aware. Ooh, so Nat 20s in this game means you get 2 options that are really good. So option number 1, you can get yourself a +3 to fixing things for the whole one shot. Just an additional +3, or you can fix the atmospheric generator so well that it will extend all the way out to fill this docking bay. But only one.
Those are both really.
Yeah, Nat 20s are great in this system.
Wow. Okay. Well, since I care more about. Well, no, I care equally about both parts, but I mean, my buddy Korg, maybe I don't want him to risk his poor little digital life, so I'm gonna extend the air out really well. Oh, sorry, made it like a bubble of air.
Amazing. As you go to work clearing out the piece of debris that kind of punctured part of the vessel, you actually realize that what it basically did is actually, if you fix this, you actually have now 2 atmospheric generators because it split it in half, and you could just complete the 2 halves, and so all of a sudden the indicators for how the atmospheric generator on your multiple readouts are the bar through the graph, as just you can see and the sense is that this entire docking bay is now completely habitable for non-mechanical life.
Can I poke into the speaking tube and go, I fixed it?
Looks
I
like it.
fixed
Gidget, am I reading this correctly? Is there now oxygen in the landing bay?
You're welcome.
I look at Horatio. Mission accomplished, sir.
Fantastic. Things keep looking up. I just sort of like take one look over to Algernon and just sort of look back. Let's land this sucker.
And Algernon will do that. Can you make me an aware roll, though, real quick?
Absolutely.
Nice.
All is right with the world.
Algernon not only seems receptive, but actually you think the berating worked. You think that the berating went really well.
Yeah.
So you all land. Korg, you see, thanks to now the fact that there is gravity and atmosphere, you were, if you were going in alone, you were going to have to try and clear a bunch of floating debris away from this doorway. But now, because of gravity, it's all just fallen to the wayside, and you all will be able to just step over it. So, having landed and gotten to the first part of the facility, anything you all would like to do before heading out? The 4 of you, 5 of you, if we include Meredith, of course.
Yeah.
I think I'm ready to go.
As I leave the beautiful fountain room that I had been resting in, I'd like to just look around real quick. Are there any like small shiny like baubles or
There's no
anything
roll
just, like,
needed.
interesting?
You know that there's like jade statuettes and like relics and lots of paintings of Horatio and his family. A lot of paintings, some busts. Yeah, there's a ton of like just baubles and fancy things.
I really want to remember my time spent meditating in this beautiful room, so I'm gonna go ahead and take one of those little jade statuettes and put it in my bag.
Yeah, as you just grab something that's equivalent to like 10 years of like a worker's wage and just stuff it into a pocket, you all head forward. So before you is the first half of the airlock is completely destroyed, of course. It looks like some kind of massive explosion or maybe burst of aether happened here. Yes.
From the inside out or the outside in?
Looks
Excellent
from the
question.
inside out.
Huh.
And then there is looks to be fully powered and functioning second airlock door, which should just open as you approach, unless it's locked or sealed in any way, which it doesn't appear to be.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna have an auto sensor. If there's atmosphere out here, you should like equalize and be fine. Yeah, be fine. Just check it
One
out.
way to find out.
I suppose I will clear the path to the door.
Terrific. And as you approach the airlock door, it opens, and there's just a dun, dun, dun. Welcome to the Halcyon mining facility.
Thank
Coming
you,
playing over.
Facility.
There seems to be no response.
Well, you always say thank you. You never know who's sentient.
You never
Magic.
truly know. So
I glare at everyone else.
understood.
I thank you all the time. I think you're awesome.
We're here following up on a tip that there might be mithril on this
That is
asteroid, right?
That is correct. So your family, so long-range radio transmissions are really unreliable because Eternals, the beings of aether, of magic that live kind of in the spirit world, the eternal realm, can hijack them. However, they can sometimes be put through and found, and your family searching for any kind of old radio waves picked up a old distress call from this facility mentioning some kind of mining facility, maybe processing or extraction, something like that.
All right, everyone, a moment of silence. We're about to step into history. All right, that's good. Let's move.
As you all step in, you can see so it's well appointed, a kind of entry welcome booth with an abandoned front desk. All of so the room has been kept clean and clearly maintained. However, most of the furniture and objects within the room are completely broken down. Essentially, it looks like someone's been cleaning, but has had a lack of replacement parts or tools necessary to upkeep the actual objects within the room. There seems to be a lot of kind of now defunct mining material and miners' uniforms here, because also like weightlifting belts and stuff, and other various equipment needed for loading heavy equipment. But otherwise, a completely abandoned room with then a door forward. I'm going to try at least and share with you all just a little top-down grid map of the facility, and so you should just be able to see the two rooms for now, and this will just hopefully help to orient yourselves as far as where we are at any given time.
Lovely. So so that first room is just sort of the entry. The second room is where all of the things are.
Yeah. So the first room was that docking bay that you filled with the oxygen and atmosphere, and the second room is this little entry room. And then there's a large double door with the label cafeteria.
Oh, a cafeteria that butts up to the airlock.
I would like
Sometimes
to go
food is
through the uniforms, and if there are lockers or whatever's there for me to go through, there could be very useful things here. We should all take a look and see what we can find.
I'm totally down with that.
Anyone who wants to rifle through things can make me an aware roll.
Okay.
Or
okay. I'm gonna make aware roll.
I'm curious. You said it looks like some of these things have been cleaned.
Yeah, well, like the floors are clean, and there's no
like
dust.
Recently.
Yeah. If you would like, go ahead and make me a brains roll. To try and figure out any clues that you might be able to do.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I had an epiphany.
Horatio, you know the levels of cleanliness that you demand, and based on your experience with that, this was cleaned within days, like, of today. Like, no more than a week ago was this cleaned and polished. All the, like, rubble of broken things kind of put up in one corner, and all of that. Also, yes, okay. So Nadja, there's nothing super useful. You do find a old photograph of like a miner with like a dwarf in like a miner's helmet with her partner, just like a little photograph. Somebody seems to have at one point cared about, but nothing of super use.
I keep it.
I thought so.
Would there be any electrical ports that I could sink into and perhaps talk to another person like myself?
You want to try and interface with the facility itself?
Oh yeah.
Is what I'm hearing.
Ooh.
If I can.
You can always try. So this is going to be, I'm going to say, a brains roll. As you go to the old kind of, looks like it was basically like a logistics station in the middle of the room. And go ahead and make that brains roll if you could.
Oh, roll it. There we go. Brains.
Okay. So that's a
stat.
10. I thought so.
Pointing at my stomach area.
So, briefly before I narrate the results, is that the final total? Do you want to maybe re-roll, or is there any abilities you might want to use?
Oh no. I
No,
am
all right,
doing
a
my
10.
best.
So
I mean, I could help if you want me to help you there. Corgo 3000.
you can also make a brains roll, depending on how good you roll. You could add to that final result here.
I mean, look, I get that you want to stick your port in the thing there, but but if I'm not judging. I'm not judging.
Even with Gidget's assistance, Korg 3000, you are unable to like fully interface, but from what you're able to gather, this is actually an extremely complex and detailed operating system. Like this is not simply a bunch of set programs. There is something much more advanced and complicated than what would normally be in a facility operating right now. But that's about all you can surmise before the inlaid firewalls and security measures kick you out.
They must be running at least Windows 7.
No, this is at least this is 100%. They didn't even go forward. They stayed where they knew it was good and just kept going.
I mean, I'm running Windows 1999, so.
Terrific.
Well,
anything else you all want to do?
For a mining?
Well, keep your eyes on a swivel, everyone. It looks like this became a rescue and recovery mission. We're not alone on this station.
Well, as Korg's head literally swivels,
just like that, Korg. Thank you.
It sounds as though you all are headed into the cafeteria, unless there's anything else you want to do in this little entryway.
Are there any cameras in the room if I look around?
It doesn't appear that there's like security cameras. It just seems like make another awareness roll is what I'll say.
Sure.
Oh.
If there are, they're well hidden.
I'm very into the photograph I just found. So.
Yeah, I mean, they
what kind of life did these people have here? I want to know. Let's go into the cafeteria and find out.
Yeah, you see like a ship in a bottle, but also a bunch of fireworks in the background, like a very interesting combination, to say the least. Great. So you all head into the cafeteria. I'm going to share with you a map here, which will just take a second. But let me describe here first what you all see. So in this room, first of all, you can see, much like the room you were just in, everything is clean, but the actual furniture and accoutrement of the facility is still broken down and in a very severe state of disrepair. The room is not unoccupied as well. Throughout the room, moving with silverware and looks like metallic replicas of food, you see at least half a dozen automata. So these are very clearly not awakened machines. They are extremely simplistic robots, like no facial expression possible, action figure hands, right? Like their hand is like a fist that can hold a pickaxe. Very simplistic machines that seem to be sitting at tables and will occasionally like pick up a piece of this metal replica food and just push it against their faceplate, or you see some have like these old dented mugs of some kind of brackish liquid that they pour onto where their mouth would be if they were a person. And you can hear them all talking with each other. You hear such inane things as, "Man, don't you hate it when you have to work double shifts? Yeah, it's the worst. Oh, did you see the foreman is talking about potentially having a birthday celebration for Carol. Oh, that'd be so sweet. She does so much in the admin office and such things as that. None of them seem to pay particular mind to you. I will now share with you a map of this cafeteria, so you all should have something popping up here that
They're
has
like robot
Yes.
ghosts.
Oh.
So you can see plenty of these automata just seemingly miming having lunch with their coworkers.
That is fascinating.
But it's dirty around them. Like they're not
Yes.
cleaning?
So the room is clean, but again, everything is in disrepair, and there's lots of like pieces of broken table and little chairs in the
I'd like
corner.
to look at some of these automata.
Please make a brains roll.
I'd like
That's
to
your
check 'em out.
professional opinion, Gidget.
Yeah. Let me just click the thing here. Figure it out. Brains. Oh, I got some brains. All about a day. Woohoo! You're so pretty.
Yeah.
You're pretty. Look at that. Oh. I tell you though, I'm straight up smelling those roses.
with a 6, I will say they are not all made in standard sizes. None of them are like the same height. Some of them are made like dwarf or Baji size. Some of them are like orcish or Humi size. So they don't seem to be a standard shape, but definitely all the same maker probably.
Is there a robot language that I might be able to
Yes.
speak with
So
them?
as a note, these machines are speaking like common. Like there's no common, but for the purpose of this, they're speaking a language you all can understand. Dwarvish is probably because the Dwarven Empire, of course. But there is also TikTok, very popular language that people use a lot, which is the language of machines that most of these automata would actually only be able to speak. But these ones seem to have programmed in the ability to speak Dwarvish.
It
But yeah.
seems that they've been programmed to speak like NPC chatter, but I would like to delve deeper if I can
Oh yeah.
perhaps go towards one and speak a little TikTok.
Yeah, what do you want to say? Yeah,
Well,
no.
Hey, buddy. How's it going? Are you okay? Is everyone safe? Can you talk?
The automata kind of turns towards you. Oh, hi. Didn't notice you there. Are you trying to talk to me? My name's Jeff.
Jeff.
Jeff, hi. How long have you been here?
Feels like forever. Mondays, am I right?
Oh, geez. Somebody really whacked with your programming, I tell you. Are you happy?
Well, I'm excited to be on leave, but it's not a bad job.
Okay. But let me see if I can make any kind of, check you out, make sure you're healthy and everything.
Are you a doctor?
I am like a TikTok doctor.
Yes, she is a fine doctor and can also help you. Just doing a diagnostic. After you, doctor.
Thank you,
I've
doctor.
already had my physical recently.
They're not aware they're machines.
What?
I say at a relatively low level to my mind, but probably comes out a little louder in the echoing room.
No brains roll needed. Usually, yeah, it does. It very much appears. In fact, as you say that, you see one of the cups of that brackish liquid get spilled, and one of the robots jumps out of its seat. Ow! I spilled. hot coffee on myself. This wouldn't hurt a automata at all, but runs to the east. Like, I'm gonna go see the doctor.
Oh,
An
I would like to
epiphany,
see
my
that.
hardy crew. These are either robots with the brains of humanoids or humanoids with the bodies of robots. The question is which?
I think the doctor might know.
Perhaps
had to get
Gidget,
that
can
way
you
somehow.
perhaps run a diagnostic?
That's what I was getting ready to do. Can I do that?
Yeah, so go ahead and roll me a brains roll, and I will say if you would like to assist Korg, you may as well, and also roll your brains.
Is this something that
Brains.
my CA can
Brains.
assist with?
Yeah, give yourself that +1 bonus.
Okay. Let's see here.
Okay, so it's going to be a 16. No help from Korg. So a 16 will get you some information. If you wanted more, you'd have to get a little higher. But if that's the final total, that'll give you some clues here.
Let's see. Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
let's go
You
with
got
that.
it.
'Cause I'm very fascinated. This is very fascinating.
Oh, there's
Yeah.
a reroll granted in the audience.
is
Oh,
like-
But the audience has decided that you should go for more and giving you a free reroll. So
Oh.
you may
Hey.
reroll and try and do just a bit better here than
Oh,
a
you did.
than a
That's
16.
awesome. I'm trying to figure this out here. Oh, was that better?
Haha! Exactly the same.
Oh,
Terrific.
16. Wow.
That's
Yeah.
consistency for you.
That is
Uh,
the universe.
It's still a robot.
So
Yeah,
with a
there's something
16,
there.
with a 16, I think you can definitely also like corroborate what Horatio's figured out, as well as so it seems. So the programming is not a standard set, right? Most manufacturers that would make a large scale kind of crew like this would probably have like the same program made for each individual
Absolutely.
automata. This one is doesn't look like any standardized. It looks like it's been specially coded and created. Any more information seems to be locked by what the program calls admin.
Oh, I gotta get in there.
Do we know how long this has been in activity?
So I will say the radio transmission mentioned watching out for patrols that happened during the war, which puts it at like minimum a couple hundred years ago, like depending on what exactly period of the war, but based on like a few context clues, this is at least a couple hundred years old.
Huh.
Yeah.
Can I look further and see if perhaps they were skinned a long time ago? I mean, as in they had skins of the creatures they represented. Dwarf, what?
Yeah, you tell me, what kind of roll do you want to make for that?
Animal handle.
I want to make animal handling. Well, I would say that because they are robots and I am a robot, maybe awareness.
Great. Give me that.
Are you?
Cord 3000 backing up. Wait, what's happening?
Hey.
Yeah, we're good. Our smoke detector in our kitchen is way too sensitive. A 19. So what I will
That
say,
was my brains working.
very much so. I know what. So as you are searching and kind of looking over some of these automata, you can see just barely visible, etched in the visual representation of TikTok. You see in memoriam of, and then a name on the back of each of these automata.
Ooh.
What?
What have you found, Korg?
Well, perhaps these automaton were, how to say, once the worker that was alive died, they might have made them into a robot representing the person and continued to work.
In
That's
Fascinating.
Eternal work.
Wait, so what you're saying is oh goodness, it's like we're at one of those old-timey simulation parks where where the things don't break character, and this is a mining facility from 200 years. This is fascinating. If once we get the mithril
yes.
from here, once we get the mithril from it, just an epiphany. Regardless of whether there's mithril, what I see here is an opportunity for tourism. Think of it, a living museum of how mining was done 200 years ago. Charge tickets.
I wonder if there are any whalers.
I'd like to
This is an
approach.
asteroid. This is an asteroid, not a moon.
Ah,
Yes.
sorry.
I'd
Not
like to
Call it
approach
East
one of
World.
the automatons, and first, I'd like to know, well, what do you all do here? What is your job?
Well, most of us here are just the miners and grunt work, but take pride in it. Working with mithril is not easy.
Oh, so you work with the mithril yourself?
Of course, when the mine is back up and running, that is to say.
Well, we would be very interested in touring the whole facility. If you would be able to give us directions and maybe show us around or give us a map.
Sounds a bit above my pay grade, but and points back towards where the robot that spilled coffee went. If you go to the office and talk to Carol, that seems like something she could do for you.
Let's do that.
All right. That's
So
very
let's,
helpful. Thank you.
Of course.
Just a moment there. I readjust myself, get ready to put on the charm. Let's go talk to Carol.
And we're going to smash cut to a skeleton in an office chair with the nameplate Carol in a dusty, broken down office.
No memorial for her. Nobody liked Carol.
Not sure your charm is
so-
going to work here, Horatio.
So if you all,
He's very charming, though.
if you
I
all
look
do,
at Horatio. I look at Carol. Look at Horatio. I look at Carol. I look back at Horatio.
This situation
it.
might still be salvageable.
So a little bit of information as well. So you all went to the east there through the cafeteria, and you are in now basically a small set of offices. It seems like there's like a room for the head administrator, and you can see that that Carol just barely in their nameplate. You can see like public relations. But yeah, it looks like this part of the facility is mostly abandoned here. That doesn't mean, though, that the machines are inoperable. There we go.
If Carol was as high up as they say, then she might have files somewhere with information that would be pertinent to our search.
Keys. But definitely see what's interesting. Is there like a
Across the
computer in here?
room.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're totally gonna.
There's definitely a lot of stuff to search. So my question is just going to be, what does everyone want to search? There's like filing cabinets. There's obviously the bunch of like just junk and equipment. There's some looks like still functioning computer systems. So where does everyone want to go and look?
I'll stick with the
Ah.
file since all of this tech thing is a little out of my depth.
Sounds good. Go ahead and roll aware. How about anyone else?
Like Naja, I was going to look at the files, the boring,
Great.
mundane files, but I'm sure on the way some random, strange, miscellaneous object of interest caught my attention,
Of course.
and that seems to be what I'm looking at.
Great.
Whether it's useful or not, who knows?
Sounds good.
I'm
And
gonna look at all the tech in the room if I can.
great. So an aware from Horatio, a brains from you, and then Cord, anything you would like to do?
I will move furniture in attempts to find perhaps a
Yeah.
secret door.
Give me a strong.
Has been
to
in
clear-
redemption in chat for an index of files someone will find.
Terrific. All right, so let's see how we all did here. So Horatio with a 20, Naja with a 16. All right, so our two friends kind of searching through all these files. So Naja, as you are searching and scanning, you start to feel like you understand kind of how the filing system here works, and you just on a gut instinct go towards one section and you pull out and you find a full like index. And so that allows you basically now, both of you get to just tell me what kind of information you want to ask about, and that's the kind of files you find because of that one.
Naja is Carol now.
So bring both of you one topic, right? Whether it's Carol or like, you know, who this facility interacted with, like whatever. What do you want to find?
Maps.
Maps? Great. Yeah. So you look and you get to like the like proposed blueprint, the revised blueprint 1, 2 through like 57. So the outline of the facility, I'm just gonna give you the whole map. I'm just gonna give you the whole map.
Way to go.
So you all started on the top there. That large central room is the cafeteria. You're in the office wing. If you kept going east, you know that there is a laboratory and an arboretum there. Then if you go south, that's where direct south from the cafeteria is the warehouse and storage facility. South from that is labeled the admin room. And then off the side of the warehouse, there is the dormitory. And then off from that is the mining facility.
That's cool.
So the points of interest, the mine, there's a lab, an arboretum, and the admin room. And the warehouse, potentially.
In the maps folder, are there any like layouts of the mines themselves?
Yeah, I'll say so. So it looks as though, there doesn't seem to be an explanation why this asteroid is rich in mithril. However, it does note that the patterns of it kind of snaked around through, and so the mines are very like twist and turn. It's not like one solid structure. There's a lot of like offshoots and caverns and a bunch of things like that as it followed where the veins of mithril were going throughout this asteroid.
I'd like to just take the whole folder with us. Yes.
Yeah. And then Horatio, what'd you find?
I'm curious to see if there's an overseer's log. Essentially something that tracks what happened here on this station, like a captain's log, stardate, blah, drums in the deep, they are coming, sort of thing. So that could explain what.
Yeah,
what
of course. A book of Robazul, if you will.
Yes.
So you look through. So yes, you find Carol's personal file.
Personal files. So
yes.
I want to understand who is Carol. Like really, get to know her.
Yeah. So putting yourself into the mindset, you are a on the younger side, Baji woman. You are employed by the Halcyon Mining Corporation to help assist the running and administration, but also to speak with and interact with any and all visitors or dignitaries of the company as far as the facility goes. One thing that is noted is for the public relations office, your job is not to spread the word, but to retract the word about the facility. Carol, you are on orders to keep the facility as unknown as possible. However, you also, your records stop. I will say a solid 300 years ago, and based on context clues, it doesn't seem like that is kind of the point where the explosion happened. Or if it was, maybe Carol didn't survive in order to, write a log of it.
So there's nothing in those final few entries about a particular piece of information that she had to keep away from the public.
And also, there's a lot of notes about how there have been lots of visits of Halcyon Mining Corporation higher executives, but that they've never given a name, and most haven't even shown their face.
Intriguing. Do I, historically speaking, do I know anything about Halcyon Mining?
Yeah, go ahead and roll brains. Give yourself a +2 because this is like 100% what a noble is supposed to be able to figure out.
Nice.
With a +2?
Ooh.
Yes.
So that would be 23, actually.
23. So one thing of note is how little that rings any bells. Of course, your family spread far and wide across the Aether Sphere. I don't know what exactly they're famous or wealthy for, or if it's simply a kind of like political station. But whatever that being, you have reach within the Aether Sphere, within the Empire, which leads you to believe that this is not of the Empire. Now, given the fact that it was created during the war, that leads to two possibilities. You, though, remember hearing rumors, because basically a little bit of context about the setting, there was a giant schism that happened. Elves ruled everything before in their monarchy. Elves are immortal in that they cannot die of like old age. They have to be killed. So they looked over everything and were the political power. But then there was a massive civil war where the now Dwarven Empire rose up and eventually, after a very long war, won. You do know, though, that there are rumors of third parties within, kind of coming off of corporate or political interests. Obviously, you couldn't really be neutral by the time the war was coming to a close. It went on for a very, very long time. But this may be some kind of strange third-party entity, this Halcyon Mining Corporation.
Conflict does frequently provide an opportunity for profit.
And
well,
then,
color me intrigued.
and then I will say, so for our friend Gidget, so through your searching through the computer systems, you are able to, if you would like, recreate an identification card for Carol. However, you aren't able to access much of the data as it seems to all be blocked off by this admin entity. And then last, but certainly not least, Cord. So as you are
muted still.
I fixed it.
Yay!
Anything I can find out about the admin, like the last login of admin?
With your role, it doesn't seem like something like it's been blocked by admin. admin is blocking it, if that makes sense. Like it's an active presence blocking, not a like something has set this up.
Gotcha.
And then Korg, as you are kind of rifling through and moving things out of the way, putting them back maybe where they might more belong, you actually see, having been kind of out of the way of any lights or anything, a barely intact small little data pad.
Aha. Well, I pick it up. I bring it to Gidget. And I say, this might help. And just remember, in death, a member of this mining facility has a name. And her name is Carol.
I have her ID card, so I'm basically like anybody can be Carol. We're all Carol now. You want to be Carol?
You shall be Carol. Carol.
Okay, got the card.
So you are going to need to give me a tinkering roll to fix this data pad up to get as much information as possible.
This is pretty cool.
Let's see how you do here.
Yo, let's just Corey brought me a present. Oh!
Oh my God!
Oh my
Gidget.
gosh, what?
Amazing. Another natural 20. All right.
Well, you know what? I have these options this evening. It's like 3, 4, 7.
Fair enough. There are things in between the scale, but hey, more power to you. So these, you have the option of either you could have full data restored as far as what is in this data pad, and I'll just give you a whole bunch of information about this facility, or you can with through kind of the backlogs, because this is a piece of technology that is not connected to whatever this admin is, you could use this to try and get through certain aspects of the admin, whether that be locks, physical or digital.
The new admin. Look at me. Look at me. I am the admin now.
Korg has gained a +1 to their next roll.
Awesome. And from the audience, Korg, you feel a little bit of confidence having found something so useful. You take +1 to your next roll from the audience.
Oh, cool. Awesome.
Thank you.
Yes. So as you repair this data pad, basically what you feel you have right now is basically if you plug this data pad into some kind of security measure, so it probably won't work, or at least it would take some finagling to work on like one of the digital security measures, but like a locked door or some kind of like security protocol, if you plug this in, should override and go through it. As far as the information, it appears to be a log of, it says, of a scientist aboard the facility. It appears they were doing some kind of experimentation with. So mithril is it's not hydrophobic, it's magic phobic. It is an anti-magical material. It cannot be like enchanted. People wearing mithril armor are you can barely affect them with aether magic. It appears they were trying to see how far that goes to some degree, but that's about all you can really gather. There's not a lot of rest of the information, but it seems they were doing experimentations on the limits of mithril to some degree.
The show midway point is coming up.
So
I definitely share all of this information, with the rest of the team.
Guessing
in a very clear, concise, non-confusing, definitely not unclear kind of way. So it's pretty interesting. It's really very fascinating.
Also, I will say with that, you would know that Carol's key card would be able to access pretty much every room in the facility, including the admin room, if need be.
Look at me.
If they were doing if they were doing experiments on the mithril, then it would follow that there's a likelihood that there will be mithril in the laboratory.
Absolutely. That's where I'd keep it. Multi-pass. Let's go.
Now, what's your take on all this?
If I look at the map, is there any indication of a storage facility
Yes.
where
Right.
yeah.
So right south of the cafeteria, and it's between the cafeteria and the admin room. There is a warehouse labeled. So if you go into the warehouse, then you can get to the mine or the admin room or get.
Well,
back to it.
interestingly, not only can we get to a storage area that hopefully might have this mithril stored up, but the admin room is right there. And considering the admin seems to be blocking some of your attempts, Gidget, I'd be curious to get in there and see what's going on.
Okay. Me too.
Sounds
Super
as
curious.
fair a course as any.
Let's do it. I'm in.
Awesome.
I'm in.
Love it. I'm in as well. Any last things you all want to do in this kind of office area before we kind of cut over to the warehouse?
Just a moment, everyone. This is a moment of silence for Carol.
I'm gonna pour one out for Carol.
We can get some 07s in chat for Carol,
Yeah.
or maybe some Fs.
Okay, that's good. Let's go.
Amazing. So you all
Hold on,
head
I kind of hang
down.
back while they're leaving the room, and I
Yes.
just want to open one of Carol's drawers real quick and see if there are any personal items in there.
Yeah, so you open it up and you see there is yes. All right. So you see that first of all, there are some kind of pet treat that is completely rotted and gone, but there was clearly some kind of pet treats or something. And you can see lots of you can see a lot of those kind of corporate stress toys that have been piled into the corner of the desk drawer, but kind of sitting, you see just a nice little porcelain paperweight shaped like a cat.
Ooh, I'm torn for a moment between looking for one of those squeeze things with a witty saying on it, or just grabbing the cat. So instead, I'm going to grab the cat, and I'm going to grab 2 squeeze toys without looking at them, put them in my bag. I'll check them later, and I follow the group out.
Sounds good.
You don't have to be a soulless automaton to work here, but it helps.
Man, I didn't have a motto for the Halcyon Mining Corporation yet, so I'm just gonna write that one down real quick. Thank you. Amazing.
That's why
So,
I'm in the marketing.
so you all make it to the warehouse. So as the doors open, first of all, a massive chamber filled with boxes and crates, some of which massive metallic crates labeled mithril. And this is pallets worth of mithril, which is a massive fortune, right? Enough mithril to make a suit of armor is already enough to buy a small fleet, probably. But this much mithril is basically unheard of.
This
This
so
room
beautiful.
is also not unoccupied. Sitting with kind of a makeshift camp, some bedrolls, and seem to be cleaning some equipment. You see a couple of figures. You see 3 individuals wearing kind of a semi-standardized set of armor with some weapons, rifle, a couple of grenades, and a little saber at their side, wearing kind of goggles and a bit of protective armor, clearly keeping an eye on what is most definitely a leader. You see a large, dark-skinned human wearing, now, like I said, mithril armor. It's incredibly expensive and sought after, and the Empire doesn't like other people having their toys. So that's why most of that is only found in the Mithril Order, which is the highest possible tier of like Empire personnel, and so basically all mithril full suits of armor are made for dwarf size individuals. This person appears to be very much not dwarven size, coming around 6 foot tall, is wearing what looks to be a custom modified set of mithril order armor made to fit the much larger frame. You can see this individual a massive hammer on their back and a blunderbuss at their hip. If everyone could give me a brains roll, Horatio, you'll get a +2 to this because of being a noble.
And I have a +1 from...
Oh yeah.
Yes, from the audience.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
The GM has a +1 on their next roll as well.
Ooh, I get a +1 as well. Fun for me. All right, so a 7, 22. So,
24.
Quirk 3000, you of course know exactly. So, what I'm going to say is, here, do you want to either have a personnel file on this leader, or would you like to take a +1 bonus to all rolls made against individuals from this organization, whether social or combat, going forward?
What should I do, guys? What should I do? I kind of like the +1. Unless...
And I will say, because a lot of rolls are head-to-head, a +1 can make a difference here.
+1, take the +1.
I
also
will...
information.
I love
I
information.
will take the +1.
All right,
And
great.
I will assume that Horatio will be able to talk whatever information out of them that we need. I'll just take the +1.
Horatio and Korg will know
That's
everything I'm going to say. You don't know this exact
24.
individual. Yeah, so these are individuals from the Astral Ascendant. You know them because they are threats and nuisances. So they are a cult-like organization that has basically one goal and one goal only, and that is to hoard mithril for some purposes. They revere it as holy, and basically each piece of mithril as a relic. They are pretty amenable. They don't. They're open to negotiation, but they are definitely all outlaws because most of the mithril is owned by the Empire, which means they generally raid a lot of Empire facilities and do hits on the mithril order, which is exceptionally dangerous and risky. But basically, they are pirates, but only for mithril. They are happy to be mercenaries if the pay is right or anything like that. And with 24, the cool detail of, because they're so wanted, they don't live on planets. They build bases inside asteroids that float around the Aether Sphere, kind of like this mining facility.
Potentially this mining facility.
But you know, not hundreds of years old. And also their constructions are usually much more hidden. Like they wouldn't have their spec speak and all that. But
I mean, obviously they're squatters here on this massive horde.
And the 4 individuals will kind of look towards the door opening, and the clearly leader will kind of stand up and look towards the 4 of you, seeming to wait to see what you're gonna do.
There's a moment I'm looking at the mithril, I turn and see them. Hail and well met, friends! I will start walking forward.
Puts a hand
if
up
you don't mind,
silently.
I will try to, when I see that they are in the room and possibly might be a threat in the future, I will hopefully stand in front of Gidget and Nadja, and perhaps if the lighting is a little dark, maybe the 4 other people didn't see that there are 4 of us, and that's just me and that guy.
I'd
Naja?
actually like
one thing
to
that
disappear behind one of those crates when we walk in.
Great. So here's what I'll say. I'm gonna say, Gidget, you're not gonna make a roll because this is more just on the positioning of because the size differential massive. So I will say, Naja, make an agile or an aware roll. I will say to either find the best spot or to just be stealthy, and give me a tough roll. I will say in terms of being like imposing and taking like attention and blocking people's view, Korg, and of course with a +1. 19. Yeah, you are like go ahead and put yourself you should all have the map here of the warehouse. Go ahead and like hide yourself behind whatever box you want in kind of the front part of the room. And then Korg, can you roll me just a tough?
Oh,
Build
all right.
Korg tough. Yeah. You don't. Not only do you think they can't see Gidget, most of their attention. In fact, you were probably a little annoyed, Horatio, because a lot of like the soldiers are mostly actually just looking over your shoulders at the massive like war machine that is your bodyguard, not really paying that much attention to you.
I had this feeling that this is not the first situation that Korg and I have been in similar to this before. So like my goal in talking to them, yes, I could potentially negotiate, but realistically, I have a feeling that this is going to go south. So my job, I feel, is to get their focus on me, distract them, but still, Korg is there as as just a silent, unmentioned threat. But most importantly, I don't want them thinking about who else could be here besides me and Korg.
All right. And we'll cut back now to that approach that we were cutting away from for a second. And again, this individual just puts up a hand as you approach and say, "Hail and well met. Do whatever you like in this facility, but touch one scrap of mithril and you will all die." And that's where we're going to cut for a break as a now diplomatic maybe or combat standoff is going down in the warehouse of this facility. So we will be back soon. Get up, stretch your legs, get some water, and we will be back for more Like Clockwork.
We're out in 3, 2, 1.
Woo!
Hello, and welcome back to Like Clockwork. So glad to have you all here. I hope you had a good break. But when we last left off the group, they were standing in the warehouse of this strange facility, which they figured out someone has made robots to replace or in memoriam of the former workers of, and has some kind of strange third-party connections and is experimenting on mithril, but right now they are in a standoff with people who really like mithril a lot to the point where they will fight for it. As their leader just said, "Do as you like, but touch one scrap of mithril and you die." What do you all do? Any of you?
Well, of course obviously we were here originally looking for mithril, but you were here first, and if there's one thing that I honor, well, there's many things that I honor, really, but if there is one thing among others that I honor, it is salvage rights. And obviously, since you were here first, not just according to interstellar law, but also just the code of honor, I would not dream of taking any of this, even though this is absolutely the largest mithril hoard that I believe anyone has ever laid eyes on, and there's more than any person or organization could possibly do with it. But be that as it may, there's a lot of historical interest. As I'm saying all these things, I'm also just sort of looking around I'm looking to see if there's any kind of if this kind of facility would have had any kind of automated security measures.
Yeah, go ahead and give me an aware roll as you do this. Ooh, your dice are hot tonight.
Yeah, I'm just going well.
Yes, very much so. You can tell it's inactive, not currently but you can see clearly a couple panels basically along the ceiling on the walls that clearly can pop out, and some kind of automated system will probably ensue. I will say that as far as places to interact with, it's going to be either by that large box with the red top on the far on kind of, I believe I can ping if I can make a pointer. So this large station right here, or it's going to be in the bottom corner over here are going to be the computer terminals for the easiest, or most effective point of access. Also, for the wonderful, wonderful speech, are you in any way telling any amount of truth?
I mean, salvage rights are a thing. I am not intending on leaving here without some
Are you
mithril.
actually intending on letting them take all of this mithril?
No. Oh,
okay,
no.
cool. So I'm going to need a charming roll. This is going to be a social
Fair
roll
enough.
to get your cool stats. This is going to be opposed by the leaders.
Okay, now,
yes.
was I talking for, now, because I do, part of my quirk is that for every whole minute spent talking in a scene, I get -1 charming because I'm a breathless chatterer.
Yes.
Have I reached a minute yet?
This is the first minute, right? So the next roll will be at a -1. But for now, you get your full bonus. This individual is not especially good at determining this, I don't think. We'll see.
So that is my social roll. Oh, wait, there's one of my skills says social with ability.
So yes, so it's going to be social roll, and then if you have an ability to, if you activate it, it will give you +2 to your social rolls. So if you want to do that before rolling, you may do that for an overload.
I might, yes. So I have a question. It is showing that my limit is 0. Is that correct?
Your limit is at 0 because you haven't used any abilities to my knowledge yet. Sorry, the limit. Oh, yes, the limit is 3.
Got it. Okay. In that case, I will take an overload to activate this ability. My goal is, again, drawing their attention, putting them at ease.
Of course. So go ahead and make me that social roll with the modifier.
Can I be moving up while this is happening?
100%. So I will say this initial tirade, you can basically move kind of to the halfway point if you want to stealth through. Getting past this point is going to require some more rolling because now at this point you're a little closer to them. But ooh. So despite your modifier right now, you're not succeeding.
Think I'm gonna burn an ace on this.
Okay. Got it. Okay, you got it. As unfortunately, you needed to meet a 12.
Okay, so the ace gives me a reroll?
Exactly. So just go ahead and roll again. It's gonna be the same modifier for you still. Perfect.
There we go.
16 will do it though. So this individual thing is you're saying everything that they want to hear. So kind of yes, just good.
And also, as I'm doing this, we've already discovered fascinating things about this place. That have you met Carol? Have you guys seen Carol? Has the run of this entire place. I mean, she controls. Carol. Well, for one thing, it was her birthday, apparently, when this explosion happened. She had control over HR, over miners, over security systems, and I'm just sort of waving in the direction of where the computer console is as I'm doing this.
Can I use the tablet thing to access the security system?
Yes, you will have to get to that piece of equipment that I pointed at. So how do you want to do so? And
I do have
Korg and Fidget, you both, what do you want to be doing during this first part here?
To the thing? Or
well, I figure that we're using what is known between Horatio and I as Plan A. He does the talking until they start shooting at us. And then I basically help. But if I know the general plan here, that there are security systems, I look at our new associates and I say, are you aware that not all of the automated defense mechanisms have been shut down? They are still active in certain parts of the station.
Remember that element of surprise?
Was that a threat?
No. Actually,
No.
if you look at the blinky light up there,
Oh.
I don't know. It could be working. No, I don't know. I have no idea if it's working or not. But if you like, I can check for you.
This facility, its historical significance, it does not matter to us. You may have anything that is not made of mithril.
Task, I always believed that the key to a good bargain was making sure that everyone got what they wanted. You want the mithril. We're here interested in exploring the historical significance. Chudding, Gitchit, could you do me a favor? Could you actually just go make a note of that just for our records?
Let me just double check that over there.
All right.
It's appreciated there.
And
wow,
during
look
this
at
time,
It's an antique. You wouldn't believe.
during this time, I'm guessing, Nadia, are you going to stay there where it's a little safer and you don't have to make some more rolls, or do you want to continue your stealth towards the interface for the security measures?
I'd like to stay where I am. I
Okay.
would like to know, so I have some abilities that involve like waiting and seeing what happens. Is that during combat specifically?
Most abilities in Aether Steamworks kind of can work both ways. So if you have an ability in mind as far as something that gives you a bonus in combat, if you want to think of a way or ask me if they can help in the social encounter, I find it very difficult to say no.
Basically, I want to take out my tech bow and be prepared to use it.
Yeah.
But I would like to use, I think it's introspection that lets me wait to see what's going to happen and then do something later.
Yeah. Nadia, as you are sitting there waiting, you can see, first of all, you get a very good view of these individuals. You can see those kind of soldiers, the grunts of the group. They have a lot of they all have a lot of different equipment on them, but they all do have one tiny disc, the tiniest cracker, kind of hanging right above their hearts, but it's made out of mithril, and everyone has voices in their head that when you think, but you hear an actual voice in your head. You should take one of those mithril baubles. You should just take it.
Huh. Have I heard a voice like that before?
You tell me how much you've interacted with voices in your head, but I'm guessing not. You certainly haven't heard this voice before, if you have.
You take the mithril? And I'm thinking about my pouch of things and how nicely one of those discs would fit in my pouch of things. Do I feel any kind of compulsion to do it, or am I just...
You're not compulsed. There's just a voice egging you on to do it. It'd be great. It'd be great.
It would be great. Okay, and I'm going to just kind of meditate to myself. No, it's not the time. When they're dead, I can get the disc.
Okay, then kill them. Start killing them.
There's a time. There's a time. All of my training has told me that there is a time that they will die, but that time is not yet. I have to wait.
You're no fun.
It'll be fun later, I promise.
I'm gonna hold you to that.
it's a deal.
So yes, can I get another charming roll? This one's gonna be at -1 because of your breathless talker for the sending Gidget over as a non-threatening move. Because I don't think that they would be super in love with that. But hey, who knows? Let's see if you can sell it. So I'm gonna roll. Okay, I got a 16. Yes, Horatio, you are muted, unfortunately.
Sorry about that. Well, let's see.
So you're gonna.
16.
So what you can do here is in your distraction box, other distractions, put a 1, and then just click your social with ability, and that will get your -1 in there for you.
Other distractions.
Automatically.
Okay,
just put a 1 in there, and then after you roll, make sure you get rid of it because that's only for your social.
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You know what?
Yes.
This feels important. I'm going to use my charming ability again.
So that's for the scene. So it's still going.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Fantastic then. All right.
Exactly. So no worries. That overload is spent. You are totally good for now.
Ah!
That's a 15. The -1.
You know what?
If you had met it, you would have been fine.
You know what? I kind of feel like I need to honor that because that came from the fact that I have just been talking nonstop this entire time. I kind of like the fact that the quirk is going to screw me over here, so I'm not going to use my other race.
And so as you are like, go, Gidget, go, the individual, you can stay there. I don't need you interacting with the facility at this time.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I misinterpret? Because you said that we could do whatever we wanted in the facility unless we touched the mithril.
Indeed. I also have my own preservation in mind.
No, that's not. No, that was not my. Goodness gracious, no, that was not my intent at all. There.
Perhaps this man does not want us to turn off the automatic defense systems in this room. Well, just remember, my friend, that it was not us that attacked you.
Kind of holds up his hands and looks around. We've been unaccosted.
Yes, but for how long?
I believe if we do not make a disturbance, we will not.
I mean, some of these things are on.
Problems.
Well, like, what are we talking here? A couple hours, a couple of days? Some of these things are on timers, you know.
Where is the panel?
So there's 2 of them. There's the one, if you see the kind of like
there's like the caution tape thing?
The two caution tape things on the map there. Yep. Go ahead. If I could get another charming roll, this one now at a -2 from you, but I like the boost up. So I'm not gonna make you roll charming, Korg, because I know how great you are at charming. So why don't you just roll me? Why don't you roll me an aware to try and assist, see if you can, help figure out exactly how to.
Did I mention we lost 14 men in the explosion with the defense system?
Ooh. Okay.
For the record, I've never been so proud of Korg.
I would wink, but I only have one eye.
Yep. Am I to understand that?
I don't say that. I don't say that out loud.
Fine. Fine. You may send your engineer under surveillance to.
Of course.
The soldiers will kind of step to the panel to watch what Gidget is doing. But yeah, Gidget, what would you like to do at this panel?
Well, they did say turn the system off.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna see if it's on, and then if it's on, I'll turn it off.
It's on. It currently doesn't designate anyone as a threat. Nothing has been done that registers as a threat. Now, if someone with access were to change that, it would activate, but it is currently on.
Oh yeah, you guys called it. It's totally on. So let's see what I can do to interface and designate the big dumb jerk faces that are harassing my friends as targets. What do I roll?
Okay. First thing I need you to do is to roll. You tell me what ability you want to use to try and not have this guard who came along with you catch on what you're doing before it's too late, right? Because they're watching you.
And I try to...
Bogey.
Baji.
Baji, thank you. One of their traits is they don't lie, if I read that correctly.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And they don't immediately assume other people are lying.
Mm-hmm.
So she's not trying to actively hide anything.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, she probably was actively narrating what she was doing as she was doing it.
Okay, well that's gonna change
about
things.
The subterfuge.
Yeah, the guard is going to don't. They're trying to indicate us as threats to the security. And we're gonna all need to roll initiative.
Great.
So, first of all, make sure you have all your benefits and distractions leveled out to 0. And then you're just gonna roll the initiative on your character sheet. And we will get this started off here.
Nice. Where's my initiative?
Amazing. And you're about to see just how a Nat 20 in initiative works out too, which is great for you. All right. So here.
All right. Where is the? Oh, I'm looking at my. Initiative. Here we go. All right.
Yes.
Sorry, I was looking around.
Yes. Now that's what I'm talking about for initiative rolls. That's great.
Nice.
Well, it's no Nat 20.
Still. So, Nadja, this is actually a little interesting because you are a still mind. But here's what I'm going to say, actually. Because you had a Nat 20, so Nat 20, how it works is you get an action before anyone else. You get to do one standard action, and then initiative starts. And obviously, you rolled amazing, so you're going to also go first. What I'm going to say is normally, right, your abilities rely on you waiting till the end of the turn. I'm going to count this first action, this natural 20 action. If any abilities say you have to have waited or given up an action, you all qualify for it all because you were, meditating and waiting for this. So what would you like to do as you see weapon, hands starting to go towards weapons and the tense, everything looking tense? What does Nadja do?
I'm doing just a very quick scroll through my abilities because that's a lot of information to get to have as an advantage.
Here, I'll give you a hint. Go ahead and just look at one breath release, I believe, is the... and you have a plus.
Ooh,
yeah.
Thank you.
Next off.
Okay, so with my Nat 20 that I just got, I'm getting the benefits of introspection. Since I was doing that before.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yes, I would my plan was to do the one breath release after introspecting, so I would like to do that.
Yes, great. So what you're gonna do is before you roll, do you see the little modifier box on the very bottom left-hand corner?
Yes.
Yes.
So you're going to put a +3 in there, 1 from the audience and 2 from introspection. And then
it doesn't seem to be editable. So you're just
going to click it and type into it. You should be able to. And then there should be a A +3.
Oh, there we go.
Yes.
Okay.
And now you're going to just click on your tech bow in your character sheet. And who do you want to fire at? There's the 2 soldiers and then this leader individual wearing mithril armor.
I'm going to try for the leader.
Okay.
Since cut off the head of the snake and...
Sure. So they have a lot of bonuses to defense, but they're not expecting this, so I'm going to give them a huge penalty. They're only going to have a +2 on their defense against this. So 14 is what you're looking to beat, so go ahead.
Achievable.
Do I grab the number from the ACC or?
Yeah, so it's going to be the ACC, exactly.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh!
Okay.
And that's what the okay.
Yes. Now, for the audience at home, not only is this a critical hit, which is amazing, but Nadia is a still mind, which means when you critically succeed, there's this thing called one breath release. So technically, this is not a challenging. This is an elite equivalence. So what I'm gonna all I'm gonna say is if you spend an overload to invoke chaos on the roll you just did, you can have that work because it's stronger than the enemy that you're supposed to be able to just one hit kill with this. But if you spend an overload to invoke the chaos.
Yeah, I'm doing it. Chaos!
Great.
I want that mithril medallion thing!
So this, as a reminder, this is a 6 foot tall, like, not nearly as large and imposing as Korg, but built like them, with like a cobbled together custom suit of mithril armor and this massive like war hammer on their back, a blunderbuss on their hip. And how do you kill them with a single arrow?
So as I am behind the crate, getting ready, introspecting, breathing, also imagining that medallion that I really want, I'm going to visualize him as I saw him when I first walked in the room, and all of my training kicks in, and I imagine this one like gap by the neck of his armor, and I visualize that as I step from behind the box and let loose.
Oh, you smogged this mother.
And I'm going to say, just ever so slightly, the camera quickly zooms in with the arrow, and we can see through like your mind's eye, because all still mind have like this glowing representation, right? In that mind's eye, just see the mithril armor, not the mithril armor, but the added in supports, just kind of ever so slightly open that gap that was there just a bit more up. And you don't notice this, but just the armor pulls back and open just a little bit more so the arrow can go in and poof, collapsing to the ground. This individual falls down. We're gonna kind of pause initiative because all the soldiers are gonna see that look like ghost white and pale. I'm gonna here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make just throw a d20 for each of them. My guess is they're not gonna be thrilled about this. Yeah, you see 2 of them just throw down their rifles and just put their hands up. And the other one who is standing by you just kind of like backs away a bit nervously. What do you all want to do here? We're kind of delaying initiative here. Yeah.
I legit am gonna finish my job. I was
Great.
almost done.
I told you that
here you
the
go.
systems were not done.
So go ahead. So you're gonna make a tinkering roll. So it's gonna be roll target of 15 to get it to just lock onto these 3. It's gonna be roll target of 18 to lock onto these 3 and disengage the lock from Nadia, who just killed someone and is being designated a threat.
Gotcha. And any of my ability tools are gonna help with this.
So the tools are already factored into your role, but if you would like to use an ability like one of your abilities and try and sell me on why it helps, then it can certainly.
Well, they must always tell the truth, and
Sure.
they did say deactivated. I'm just saying. Let me see what I can roll with the minor modifications.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there it is.
Now, did I go before Gidget, as I had a 23 total?
Well, what did you intend on doing, I guess?
Oh, I was going to go over to the last remaining person and hold out my hand and kind of say, "Give me your weapon."
Yeah.
Actually,
Before...
since I was still at the top of the initiative and I still had one more move, I was gonna shoot them.
Oh.
Oh, well then shoot him.
Oh, so you're no mercy.
Put his weapon down,
So
and that
they put
voice
their
told
weapon
me
down
to
and
kill
are
them all.
surrendering, and you're just gonna pop.
Two of them dropped their weapons and one didn't. He's still a threat.
Okay, cool. So as you step forward and hold your hand out for the weapon, they're like, yeah, okay, and then just an arrow, and they just fall down. And as they fall down, the rifle kind of clatters into your hands.
Ouch.
Well,
too slow.
He dropped it.
It's too slow. Okay, so do you want to? This will be chaos to invoke if you want to give yourself a bonus, but you of course can. Would you like to do that on your minor modifications?
Yeah, I'm not, and I'm a little fuzzy because it doesn't specifically say any. It's like
Exactly. Exactly, but that's where chaos comes in, because you can then just break out of that box of what it says. So, well, that will do. That will cost 2 overload.
2.
Yes, because it's 1 for the ability, 1 extra for chaos.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yes, unlike Nadja, who just did always cost 1. So then give yourself an additional +3 on top of what you're rolling, and if you succeed, then you're going to have basically full control over whatever the security system is here.
Oh,
I'd like to burn
so
an
that's
ace,
a
please.
12. Okay, go ahead and use that ace.
That's not a 12, dude. That's a 9.
Yeah. Well, you have a +3 on top of your bonus. Remember from the
okay.
chaos.
I thought it automatically did that.
Yeah, you're good. Go ahead and roll
Burn
again.
an ace. Okay,
Yes.
and then tinker again.
Yep.
Okay.
Another 3. Oh no. Now I will say, you do have your virtue of compassion. Now, trying to deactivate the system so your friend doesn't get attacked by whatever the security protocol is, I think is within the virtue of compassion. So if you would like, you can enact that, kind of click that bubble by it to show you've used it, and get that ace as well to reroll.
Oh, can I? Oh, I have another ace.
Or instead, I will say, since you invoke chaos, you rolled a 3. That doesn't mean you fail. That means you're going to roll on the chaotic aether table and see what happens instead.
I mean,
let's do it.
All
let's
right.
do that.
I knew I could rely on you to give me the fun answer. So you should just now be seeing the table loading in. So once it does, just hit roll, and we're going to have to see what happens. And go ahead and replace that ace here on your character sheet, because the wonderful McSherry did grace you with 1. But so the target or random target in the affected area becomes intensely afraid of body hair. They will attempt to run away screaming about it until the end of the scene. This grants them +4 move while running away from hair. If they cannot escape, the target gains +3 to all combat rolls. Okay. So
Am I the target?
No, the target was the security system. So as there is as these doors come out of the ceiling, you see swarms of miniature robotic bees swarm out of these vents, just droves upon droves, with little like hypodermic needles instead of stingers. But then the instant they lock onto all of you, you see the system like looks at Korg, everything's looking good, and then looks at all of you, and just like for some reason you see the it locks onto like the head of hair on Nadia, and it just like insurmountable threat, and you see the entire swarm of these bees just disperse into the facility, running as far away from you all as possible. So they don't attack anyone.
I think
And so
Not
you
just not attacked.
and yeah, that bug's gonna be in the system for a while, you think?
literally. I like it.
So you
What
all now
did you
have
do?
two surrendering people.
I just
yeah, not
after that, I'm just going to just casually walk up to the big guy that I dropped first and start unclipping his armor, and I'm gonna take his medallion and I'm gonna put the armor
So
on.
cold.
okay. Yeah, of course.
I look at Horatio and say, "Well, sir, once again, Plan A is successful."
Yes.
Okay.
I'm also
Nadia-
muttering about touching the armor, like, who's gonna stop me now?
Yeah, you see the two people who surrendered. They look very clearly very offended and aghast, right? You not only killed their leader, you are then like again, remember this is like holy stuff. Like they don't like in their mind, people shouldn't like touch it if avoidable. Like looking at the armor, it's very clear there's like a layer of stuff so that at no point did this person's skin touch the mithril, right? This is like holy stuff, and you're just like, yeah, let me just take this off. I will say, give me either a brains or I'll let you do a tough roll, because this wasn't made for you, to see how well you can adapt it, and see what kind of benefits you can get from it, from just putting this guy's armor on top of his dead body in front of his friends.
Well, I'm not sure whether to be elated that she's part of our party or
no.
terrified.
Hey, this is our first natural one. If this sticks, that means you get another choice, just like natural 20s. It's fun that way, in that either there's going to be a bad consequence that affects just you or everyone else around you.
Oh wow.
Or you could reroll. So the everyone else is less, but of course your allies have to deal with it as well. If you just make just the consequence for yourself, then it's maybe a little worse, but it's just you that has to deal with it.
Oh, do I get to find out what it is, or do I just have to
pick? You get to pick. Oh, I don't tell you which is which. No. Nat 20s is nice. Nat 1s are not.
All right. Oh, this is awful. Because my character would pick everybody. My character would be like, we all are gonna.
This is you as the player, though. This is you choosing which way the narrative is going.
I can't do that to them.
Okay. So,
yeah, you can. Come on.
As you start to put this mithril piece on, that voice in your head, no. And I need you to roll a magical roll, please.
Ooh.
Now, I if I can, while she is clearly about to put on this armor, and these two men are looking at her, I would like to just put my arm in their way as if trying to block their view, to say,
Sure.
Please, sirs, she is about to disrobe. How rude.
They couldn't be happier to look away. No one in the Aethersphere has ever been more excited to look away from what they were about to view. So that's fully a 4 or 5.
What is this
Um,
ace thing? What is this
So an
random?
ace, you may spend an ace to re-roll.
Does that work on critical fails?
It does. I
And
thought
I'm
you were
gonna
just
do
taking
that.
it. Okay, cool. Go ahead. Go ahead and we'll rewind a bit. So you got to free us from the audience, so you don't have to even use the one from your characters yet. So go ahead and re-roll that tough.
MC Sherry is my hero, by the way. I just want everyone to know that.
Oh, and we have an overload reduce for Gidget. So how much is that? So you have one less overload now, Gidget. Because you're a bit restored. Okay, so that's an 11. You want to leave that. You could always ace it again if you think you can do better. Otherwise, we'll resolve this 11 for putting on the armor.
Ooh. So if you ace it again, do you take that regardless?
Oh yeah, there's no looking back. Aces.
All right, I'm gonna just stick with it then because that's better than half, and better than a 1.
Yeah. So what I'm gonna say is you're gonna get a +2 to resist anything that is magical, and you can go ahead and give yourself 2 A hits, which will come up if you get hit in combat. As you can kind of get like the pauldrons, and like the chest piece is just too large, but you can basically get like some of the limbs, right? Like some stuff on your arms and shoulders, and just like the main central chest piece that connects it all. It's just too large, not built for your stature, because it wasn't made for you. But obviously, with time later, you could certainly try and fix that.
Cool.
Yeah.
So the mithril pauldrons +2 with magic.
Yeah. So if you're ever fighting against something magical, you're going to get a +2. And on your character sheet, do you see where it says A hits? It's going to be by your health. So if you're looking at the big heart, it's to the top right of it, kind of like upper right-hand corner of the heart.
I see it.
Doesn't it look like shaped like a shield on your first page?
Yeah. Okay, got it.
Oh,
yeah.
You also, your A hits didn't transfer over. So let me see here. You're wearing, I believe, you're wearing light leathers, which have 0 A hits. So now you have 2. Which is good because A hits can be very helpful. So there you go. In your head, you hear that voice, but it sounds kind of like muffled now, like, "Hi, can you still hear me?"
What? What did you say?
Where are you?
I'm here. Where are you?
I don't. You're far. You left. You went farther away. I don't know where you went.
I'm gonna bend closer to the body with the rest of the armor, and like talk to the armor. Hello?
No, it's
oh God,
me.
our death.
It's not that. No, I'm the one who let you know how fun it was gonna be, and wasn't I right killing them and taking their stuff? Wasn't that so fun?
Oh yeah. Killing them and getting the stuff is great, and I'm gonna pluck that medallion off of.
Yeah. I will point out as well, this is that half of the conversation that Nadia is saying is out loud. So,
yeah. Oh yeah, I'm absolutely concerned about the fact that our assassin of screaming death is now just talking randomly out the.
Sure, it's fine.
Yeah,
If I
Nadia?
can,
please.
Yeah. Yes.
When I see all of this happening, or if I do see this happening, I would like to just, I have my hand in front of the 2 gentlemen who have surrendered. I'm just, if I can make some servos in my arm, make some loud noises so that they don't think anything weird is
hear
happening.
The beginning, and then they hear like kill, and then it's like, and you just like release a bunch of like excess steam or something like that. 100%. You give.
Oh yeah,
well,
I'm sorry.
Your whole music plays. Yeah.
That's right.
During this time, so we've got 2 of them now.
Yeah, so there's 2 of them that Cord
has
got, distracted and not listening in. But go ahead, you were addressing.
Well, Well, my friends, it would seem that you are in luck this day. Because, well, you were smart. You threw down your weapons. Because if you hadn't, things
We
were
would have been killed very mercilessly.
probably going to get dicey. I'll be honest. I'm a little. I'm reaching into my pack. I'm a little disappointed. I almost broke out my combat jacket, and I don't have a reason to do that anymore. So, so needless to say, I'm glad that you're not attacking us, but a little frustrated that I couldn't go through a wardrobe change. I look forward to those every day. So it is in your best interest to do exactly as we tell you.
You could put it on as like a victor of combat.
Oh. What's your name, my friend?
Bernard.
Bernard?
Yeah.
You're suggesting that I put on my combat jacket as an indication of victory even after the combat is done?
Yes.
Bernard, I like you.
Cool.
And because of that, I'm going to offer you... Now, Bernard, depending on the answers that you give me to these next questions, there might be a position on my ship for you. Wouldn't that be fun? You haven't seen my ship. It's quite wonderful. So, well, tell me everything about how you all came to be here and what you've done since you arrived. Go.
We found a really faint radio signal, and it
How long ago?
A couple weeks, maybe.
Hmm.
Is their radio signal still active?
You can't tell that from here. You think that kind of thing would be in the admin room, which is due south of here. So we got a transmission at one of our home stars, and then we put together a crew and kind of like briefly peeks past you. The first scale picked out a few of us to come reclaim if there was any relics.
Bernard, does anyone else of your order happen to know? I mean, they know you're here, but do they know what you found? Is there anyone else on their way?
No, no. You see, like, he clearly wanted to lie there, but just doesn't have it in him.
You're not lying to me, Bernard. I'm wearing my combat jacket right now. You're not lying, right?
Oh, I did do that. It was a choice I made. Yeah, okay. No. I mean, they figured the first scale would be more than enough if needed. It was supposed to be derelict.
Yeah, I sort of looked down to the first scale. I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to lie. I think that kind of surprised all of us there.
Yeah.
But here we are. I looked to his front.
No. He's what?
What else have you?
One sec. Does that upset you, Gidget?
No, I'm just kind of curious.
Okay.
I mean, it's a little poor guy, but this thing's really cool.
He threatened to kill all of us if we touched Mithril, and we wanted to touch it.
No, it's cool. I'm still working on the thing here. I almost got it.
I mean, you shouldn't, but yeah, I guess. I mean, I can't. No, that's without force. That's like as a general.
Yeah, no, you certainly couldn't stop us if you wanted to, Bernard. Bernard, and I turn to the other friend. What's your name, my friend?
Cheryl.
Cheryl? Bernard, Cheryl, here's what we're going to do. We're going to bind you. We're going to tie you up to make sure that you can't, stab us in the back or anything like that. And we're going to continue exploring this facility. But when we're done, I'm going to come back here. I'm going to take you onto my ship, show you around, free you. And both of you have a very lucrative employment opportunity if you are so interested. How does that sound?
Not a huge fan of the tying up part, but seems better than the non-option the other two got, so...
Consider it the final part of your interview.
Yay.
Well, fantastic then. All right, now I suddenly... So let's Yeah, let's say now.
Bernard.
I just sort of
Interview.
Yeah.
I look at Bernard and say, Bernard, if you do this right, we will call you the Bernard who lived.
Oh yeah, you don't want to be the Bernard that died. That's way worse.
Oh, good. Yes, my career goals coming to fruition.
Anyway, I'll turn to the rest of my crew there. Well, so my friends, Nadja, by the way, amazing shot. Little terrifying, not going to lie. We might need to talk later, especially considering that you're talking to someone that we're not talking to right now. But all that being said, very nice. Very nice.
You look kind of crazy.
Yeah, I look at. We're just gonna put a pin in that. Just to, I look around and again take in the mountain of mithril that is around, and I am, guys. I'm not gonna lie. I am so tempted. We could just load up as much as humanly possible onto this onto our ship, which is a lot, and just leave then. I'm not gonna lie. I'm curious about admin. I want to know what happened to. I want to know what happened to Carol and the rest of them. Okay, I was just like, if it was just me, if it was just me.
No.
Okay.
I gotta know. I was gonna say something. I'm really glad you said something because the admin room is like right this way. I've already got the card. The card's gonna get me in, and I got to know.
Yeah, we got it. We got to figure that out. So, and then we'll take all the mithril and then head back. And
oh yeah,
oh my god, so much mithril.
What if we take a few things just in case? Because apparently explosions happen here, and if we have to run to get to the ship, then we can't stop for mithril. And I'm gonna be going through the guys' like pockets
as
and,
you are looting things. Yeah.
That's not a bad idea, Nadja. Yeah. All right. Sure.
She has a point.
Great. So you all are able to, stuff your pockets as full of exceptionally valuable material as you would like.
So if we have to cut our losses.
Stop you.
Yeah, I will leave Bernard and Cheryl. We will bind them and leave them here.
Sounds good. I figured that would be what went on.
So I got these mag locks. They're pretty cool. They're gonna definitely.
Can we leave them in Carol's office and lock the door with the admin card?
Sure.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Would that be safer, sir?
I like the way you think, Korg. Let's do that.
Carol was not the Carol that lived. Bernard.
Good
I would like to
to
make sure
know.
As we're walking there.
Sure, there
so
is
go
no
ahead.
access to anything in there for them to possibly use to get out.
I mean, that was the room that you all like super.
Yeah.
So you're all gonna be good.
I don't want them to be able to hack the computer.
You can just smash it.
What?
Oh, just kidding. No, yeah, you can like disconnect it from the server for now.
Yeah. Maybe I will, and I'm just it's me, this laptop, and I don't.
When we close the door to leave them in there, I'm gonna give them like the.
They're terrified. They are so terrified of you. You don't know. Like permanent. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I'm completely oblivious to this. I think that they're just staying out of the goodness of their hearts.
Of course. So we're gonna cut back to you all in front of the admin room. It's not going to take a werewolf to tell that not only is this the largest and most secure door you've seen in this facility. Like, obviously, it's not as large as the bay doors, but it's actually probably sturdier than the like entrance doors to the hangar bay. And you can all tell it is mithril lined. So it's basically a magical seal.
Well, I did want a challenge.
There is.
Boop.
Yeah. Identity recognized. Carol, please biometrically scan, and a little like fingerprint scanner pops up.
Whoop.
Oh.
Well, that's bad.
What now, Carol?
Well, I mean, is there anything on her old laptop?
What I will say is, reminder, you do have the piece of the data pad that you.
Oh, let's try this.
I got you. I got you.
Boop.
Accepted. Welcome. Garrett. What? Garrett. Carol. And there is. You hear. Oh my goodness, Crimson! Welcome. We are in the tail end of this wonderful group's run through of I am starting to lose it, folks. Of Like Clockwork. I almost said Roll Charisma, which is a great show every Tuesday night. But welcome everyone. So good to have you. We did a Like Clockwork with Crimson and the Ruin of Gaming Crew. You can check that out.
Nice.
Nice.
But as that the welcome Carol is said, there's a like 20 locks and then a and before you is a small entry hallway before you, which as you all walk down, a third unoccupied room is before you. So this is an entirely metallic room. You can see the walls are made of metal, not solid mithril, but enough lined in that you would know that it would be effective in blocking magic from entering or leaving the room. There is essentially the middle of the room is taken up by a slightly raised up section of it, in which there is tons, in which I've used both in the actual measurement and the just term of mechanical and more computerized equipment. Mechanical devices, aether-powered screens, a cavalcade of different electronic noises and pieces are flowing through this room. On the lower section of it, you can see what looks to be essentially small-scale manufacturing equipment. Large foundries for melting and smelting metal. You even see a section which appears to be capable of maybe even creating basic automata replacement parts. However, none of this, as interesting and well described as it is what first grabs your attention. Neither is it the automata working on this equipment with In Memoriam of Carol on the back of its plating. It is looming, so built from the ceiling descending down, in massive stature, there is an automata. Not like the ones you've seen so far. This one is the top half of what looks to potentially have been maybe a Humi, or could be a dwarf or elven torso, made so intricately. You can see joints for almost every possible expression. You see there's like multiple joints just in like where their jaw is set. Just intricate, perfect, delicate placements of parts as this intricate torso up of a woman surveys this kind of landscape, looming massive with just this combination of extremely complex workings and also bright, shining beauty. And you see it turn to the four of you and, hello, I am the admin. What can I help you all with?
I love you.
Thank you.
You're so.
Can you
Thank you.
can you tell us what happened here?
Of course. Are you from the company?
As a player, I feel like this is one of those when a massive automaton asks if you're from the company, you say yes. So, yes.
Not
We
if it
have,
doesn't like the company.
we have clearance. Does that count?
Interesting. Well, at least my distress call was answered by someone. There was a workplace malfunction. The eternal powered core was disrupted in some way during experimentation, leading to a critical core meltdown, leading to a swift release of entropy,
Oh, that does not sound good.
colloquially known as an explosion.
Yes.
Player question. Eternal powered core. Is
Correct.
that like a known fuel? Has it been a fuel source that's been tested by now, or is that like a what?
That's so what they just said is we captured like a ghost or an elemental and we made it power our home. That's not I don't think that's not out of the realm of possibility, but that is extremely difficult, extremely unknown factor.
Admin, do you have any files, blueprints on that eternal powered core?
Yes.
May we have them?
No. And kind of gives you like a smile.
I had to try.
They are highly classified. If you have, I believe, corporate level clearance with the company, then of course you may. I simply would need to see the proof of clearance.
What form would you like the proof to take?
I don't think I quite understand the question.
Digital proof or physical proof?
I suppose if you have either, they would both work.
Aren't you the heir?
My apologies?
Horatio, aren't you the heir? Isn't this your family's company? Or am I making that up?
What, of Halcyon? Well, we haven't been known by Halcyon for a decent amount of time. But yes, technically, I mean, there's been like 4 different.
Wasn't this just like an out of game? I want to make sure she's not telling lies.
Oh no, you might think that, but that's not. you can certainly
My
say
idea.
that. But you know what? This is exactly what Aether's Steamworks is for. Why don't you roll me brains, and we'll see if you can speak this into existence.
I'm like, I don't remember. I
Yeah.
thought in the exposition that it was that
it wasn't intended to be, but let's do it.
Okay, that's a 17 plus.
That's a 21. That's really good.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah.
You know, thinking about it, Horatio, you do remember that there's that one branch of your family that nobody talks to. They're like the weirder cousins, and they're like always talking about conspiracy theories and like anti-government, like not empire, just government, and some like weirder tech stuff. And you do remember one of them at one point gave you like a pen with Halcyon Mining Corp written on it.
I mean, if Admin, can you tell me what year it is?
Yes, it says the correct year.
Now, let me tell you this, Admin. If I were not the heir of the Halcyon Corporation, which is, went defunct a long, long time ago, would I have this?
Ah, I see. The ring of the founder of Halcyon Mining Corporation. Of course you would not. This, of course,
Ergo,
is proper clearance. Thank you very much. Welcome,
Oh, wow. Yay!
honored guest. It is so good to have you all here.
of course,
We,
it's wonderful to
Like gasoline on a fire.
I'm sorry we broke your beat. Sorry.
So, the Eternal Powered Core is a brand new innovation straight from Halcyon Mining Corporation. My apologies. The salesmanship protocols are extremely stiff. We have
Would you-
successfully, yes.
After you finish your pitch, would you be willing to download as many of those files as possible to that data pad over there?
I can do both simultaneously. Here at the Halcyon Mining Corporation Outpost C, we have managed to get each kind of Eternal and bind it within one centralized core, surrounding it with a thick layer of mithril. Unfortunately, during the process of installation and maintenance, there was a breach, which led to most of the Eternals being let loose in a extremely fast and uncoordinated manner, leading to the untimely demise of most of the crew of Halcyon Mining Corporation Station C. Is that sufficient information? I could go into exact schematical details, including each individual part needed for the construction.
No, but if those are on the files, that will be great. But so my understanding is, so my understanding then is that theoretically, for an engine like this to work, you just need the proper configuration and just a metric ton of mithril.
As well as some very difficult to procure pieces of material and technology. But yes, suffice to say, simplified, correct. And of course, the enough Eternals to bind and somehow overpower.
And I'm assuming that you have control over what security systems remain on this station.
Correct. I am the, well, heart and brain of the Halcyon Mining Corporation Station C.
You nailed
Of course,
it.
you are gorgeous.
So good.
Uh,
So good.
Compliment received.
this is where I just sort of like turn to the rest of the group. All right, so my thought is we just set this station to only let us back on. We go, if we can't put all the mithril on our ship, we come back with many other ships, and we just essentially claim this station for, you know, there's a moment I like flash to like all of the patriarchs and matriarchs in my family whose approval I want. Just sort of like, good job there, Horatio, and everything. And it's just cut back that. So,
Did you?
I know this is kind of a long shot, but is there any propulsion system in this flying?
No,
spacecraft?
unfortunately, the only way to move this would be to have multiple, depending on their size class, many Aether ships tow the entire asteroid. We're going to cut over to our Stillline friend. As you are not just standing around, that voice kind of comes back. Hey, look to your left. You see another panel of machinery. It's like a super cool looking, some kind of like computer key or device. It looks super, super cool. You should take it.
What do you want me to do with it?
You seem like having stuff. You should just take it. It looks really cool.
I'm kind of gonna like surreptitiously meander over to it, like, you know, like just kind of looking like I've naturally ended up there throughout my
course.
observations of the room.
Go ahead and make an agile roll with a +2 because, of course, your friend Horatio takes up a lot of attention. Is how we're gonna put it. Oh my gosh. Amazing. Wow, I rolled well, and still, yeah. Admin doesn't notice you. think you are completely unnoticed in this time, unless if anyone would like to, fellow players, roll aware and try and beat a 22, you may. But otherwise, Naji, you are able to sidle up to this.
I feel like I would be completely oblivious to this, at least.
I do have a +1 from all of the.
Yeah.
From I'm getting +1 on everything, or is that just on combat?
You know what? Since
Remember, 'cause I had
that combat didn't come about, I'm gonna say take a +1 for all your rolls in this scene, because I don't want that. Nat 20 cannot go to waste. So, I refuse to.
Still
so
not good enough,
only
though.
a 20, not a 22. So, Naji, yeah, you now see. I don't know how you can tell me how much you want to look at the actual like piece of machinery at, but there is very clearly like some kind of maybe like chip or central processor or something, but it's like very intricately well made, and it has like some like shining gold kind of glittering around it. It looks both valuable and aesthetically pleasing.
I'm gonna I look at the AI that's speaking, and I look at the core, and I look at the AI, and I look at the core.
It doesn't look like it is a power function, if that helps. But if you would like, you could give me a roll to try and figure out anything more than that.
I want the thing,
yeah,
but I have decided that I like this AI, and it hasn't tried to attack us. I feel like I don't start fights, but I finish them. Mm-hmm. And I only killed those people earlier because they were going to attack us.
Of course.
So I do want to try to figure it out. So I'm going to do a brains roll.
Please do.
And that's a 20.
A natural 20.
Oh.
2 options.
Okay.
You can figure out who's talking to you.
Ooh.
Okay.
Damn it, Tommy.
Well, here, I'm gonna take that, but I'm not gonna take away Nudge's agency, but there will be a roll about it. So you can know who's talking to you. Yeah, you rolled a 20, so you can know what's talking to you, and I'll kind of give you a baseline of what this thing is, or you can know exactly what it does and exactly what removing it would do.
Oh.
And then we'll get to the complication.
Oh, those are so good.
Thank you. It's never supposed to be an easy choice. It's a choice.
I want to know what it is and what it would do.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. So, it is the basically master key to the power core. Pulling it out would disengage the lock for maintenance or to shut down the power core. It wouldn't stop the power core. It would just be open it to the wider world. The main thing is if the proper precautions haven't been taken, which probably haven't because no one's been in this facility, it would let the Eternal inside of it loose. And as you realize that, the voice no longer whispering, "Take it out!" And I need you to roll a magical roll +2 to resist as you feel now, it wasn't a compulsion to take those other things, but now there's a force trying to make you pull it out. So we're looking for an 18 or better.
No.
No.
Luckily,
Oh,
you have
no.
aces. You want it?
Wait, what?
You have aces, I believe, if you would like to try and re-roll. Or you can let it stand and we can see what happens.
I'm going to use one of my... Nah, you know what? We're letting it stand.
All right. It yells, "Take it!" And you, without even thinking, with not quite yourself, you take it and you yank it out. Ooh, mess with my background there. You yank it out, and all of a sudden, yeah! And there is a sound of like crunching metal and breaking stone as you can all hear a large shape or a large entity bounding towards the admin room.
Uh-oh.
Anything you all would like to
Oh,
do?
I
boy.
quickly stuff the thing in wherever I can stuff it and
Yeah.
move as far away from that thing as I possibly can.
Totally. I mean, listen, you may have done this, but you definitely aren't going to get caught with
I'm not
it.
gonna
Nobody
admit it.
noticed. Nobody
And
noticed.
what,
Um,
admin? What just happened?
if I were to make an educated guess, it would appear that somehow the master control for the power core has been removed, thus releasing the eternal left inside.
Can I fix it? Can I fix it? Can I fix it?
Where
Can I
is
fix it?
the master control?
Unknown.
Here? Bernard! He will not be the Bernard who lived.
So basically, what I'm going to say is y'all can do one thing before what's coming comes here, and y'all have to deal with it.
Oh God.
Yeah, what do you want to do?
Where
First
do I go
order
to
of
fix it?
business.
Yes, for first order of business. What's that? What's that?
Kill Bernard.
All right. Well, Bernard is
He's so
fully
far
in
away.
another way other side of the facility, and something's coming towards you now. But I'm not here to say no to anything.
So, question.
Ugh.
In this world, like Eternals,
Mhm.
is it a generic term like monsters, as in, oh yeah, there are some monsters that are like goblins and you can fight them, and then there's other monsters that are like dragons.
So they range from, well, so that's actually a funny question. So they range from like basically just kind of like a ghost that can maybe move an object, maybe. Most Eternals, in fact, can affect the non-eternal realm, all the way up to minor deity level power, right? Like something that manifests and is like a giant elemental or a massive creature. And dragons are actually godlike beings that rest over everything. And in fact, we've learned through games that the Aether Sphere, which contains the I believe 7 worlds of the Aether Sphere inside of it, is actually basically the protective barrier that is just the side effect of a dragon, a growing dragon being inside one of the planets of the system. So yes, but so that's like the top of an Eternal. But yeah, Eternals can be scary, or they can be fine.
Yeah, so I was just like, admin, what class Eternal was powering the core, or it was currently powering the core?
Well, there was a kind of each of the broader categories of Eternal. However, the only one left was the Eternal of Lightning.
Does that mean anything to me?
Well, so there are eight flavors of Aether magic, if you will. There's fire, earth, wind, water, lightning, time and space, body and mind, entropy, and death. So lightning is one of the elemental kinds of Aether. So this is a being that embodies lightning. Yes. It is also powerful enough to power this whole station. Yes, Gidget.
Can I find where this power core thing moves?
So you can make an aware roll and try and find it. Yes.
Boop. Oh wait, double clicky. Clicky. Fix it, fix it, fix it. Okay, that's not bad. Not bad.
So that's a 19. Unless basically Nadja at this point is going to take it out, which I don't think she will. Although she is able to, as a character, make that choice if she wishes to. That does not beat their stealth roll of 22 to
I'm
notice.
not looking for the core. I'm looking
Okay.
for
Oh.
the hole.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's easy enough. You find this piece. I'm gonna say with you 100%. With that roll, it would be extremely difficult and not a quick process to fix this without the core, but it is possible. You would just need time.
Okay, let's see what I can do. If you guys can give me some time, I can fixing this. I'm gonna
Okay.
use. I've got my little TA, and if I need to deploy my personal defense object, this guy can work guard duty and help you guys while I'm trying to fix this. Okay.
All right. There's part of me that it's like the smart thing to do is for us all to book it back to the ship and count our wins.
Mhm.
But I do have courageous as a virtue, so.
And you have the combat jacket on. You didn't take it off.
Yeah, I've got the combat. That's actually a good point. So the one action that I will do, and I've got the combat jacket, so I'm going to reach into my pack and I'm going to take out my brown pants and put those on, and then we're good to go.
Great. You other two, Korg and Nadja, anything you would like to do before this thing shows?
I will ask the admin if she can defend herself. Can you defend yourself?
Am not allowed to bring harm to any other being, as they did not think that would be wise to give such capabilities to something with as much control as I have.
Can you attempt to not be harmed?
I may enact security protocols as is ever necessary, of course.
You might want to. And I will basically go over to where the sound is coming from and just
It's coming
stand
from
in
the
front
entrance of the room here, so if you just
I
put
will
yourself
just stand
here.
in front of the entrance and then sigh.
Let's do it. Can I?
Yes.
Can I give the admin as the heir of this company? Can I give you the? Would that be enough to override your limitations?
Very well thought of, but definitely not.
Oh well. All right, Corey, it's all you.
They also didn't think having anyone be able to turn off that programming, they thought that would actually be worse, because then all of a sudden I would be a weapon of war.
Yeah, that's a shame.
I agree. And Nadja, anything you want to do in preparation for what's going on?
First question, could we get a copy of the map so that I can...
Oh my goodness, I just realized I didn't share it with you all. That's so embarrassing.
It's all good. I just want to see where I can move to. And...
Yes, of course. And because we're like pre-fighting, you can kind of if you want to just set yourself up in a position, feel free to go wherever you want. Do you all have the map now? Do you see it?
No.
No? Okay, then what you're going to do, go hit images, and there should be one called admin room. And you're just going to click on that. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Can you move Gidget to where she's
Yeah.
from? I'm not sure where the thing
Yep.
is.
You're good. It'll move you there.
Oh, okay.
Here we go.
Oh,
I'm going to say right over here. Yeah.
awesome.
Okay.
My second question is the abilities that I activated earlier, are they still active or did they wear off?
They are not. This is a new scene, so you're gonna have to go into it another time now. So go ahead and put yourself where you want to be, and let me know when you're good there.
All right. Are these stairs going down or up?
Down. So this is the gray section is raised up above the darker gray section.
And how far down is the darker section?
It's not far down. It's like just like a small set of staircases. It's not like something you could fall and like take a bunch of damage from.
Think of it
But is it like,
cavern.
is it tall
It's
enough
like a
to use
person
as like
tall. Yeah, you could hide behind it. Yeah, you could use it as cover for sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that then.
Perfect. Love it. All right. The lights begin to flicker. You see parts of machinery start to spark and whir. You see a couple on the like less complex machining parts on this lower section. You can see parts start to ping, 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 pop off, and all of your hair begins to stand on end. and barreling through the room towards the admin comes an Eternal. Imagine, if you will, yes. Imagine, if you will, if you could create a ball of pure, bright bluish white electricity, not lightning, but just the flash into a central orb, and then connecting that, coming off of that, you can see this kind of large metallic head and two arms as it wisps away into crackles of electricity and lightning as this Eternal, about the same size as the admin. I mean, so like a good 10-foot tall entity, tears through, leaving like lightning sears and strikes along the ground and wall as it comes forward. We're gonna roll some initiative.
Yeah.
So two fun things, because this is what's called a nemesis level enemy. Because we knew a little bit about enemy levels because of One Breath of Release, right? There's simple enemies, which were the soldiers, right? They're not anything special. There's challenging, which are like a step above that. There's elite, which are like, squad leaders. A couple of them could be a threat to one whole party. And then there's nemesis enemies, which are enough to be a threat to a whole party just by themselves. So two things that's going to be different. Up to this point, you just needed to meet or beat the roll, right? Whether that was against an enemy or otherwise. Now you have to beat the roll, otherwise it's a re-roll. If you get the same result as my nemesis, you just have to re-roll off. It's not a win if you meet here. And you do also, I will let you know, because I don't want to gotcha anyone. Nemesises, no enemies except nemesises have a reaction. So they actually have the ability to react once in a round to what you all have done. But we did have a natural one on initiative. So here's what I will say. I believe normally that means you only get one action on your first turn. Basically, cutting your effectiveness down. We can either do that, or I can offer you the same normal choice, and it will create a complication, but you will still get your full turn on your turn. What do you say to that?
I will keep my failure to myself.
Okay. You got it. So if you could just give me an agile roll then.
Sure. Hold on, there's so many tabs up.
I know.
Okay, there we go. I love all these tabs though. I love lore. There we go.
13. So as you are sitting in that bunker, the piece of machinery right next to you starts to spark electricity, and you are going to take 4 points of damage as lightning hits across you. And a lot of the simpler machinery is starting to, so keep that in mind if you all take cover or go into lower section, that there's a chance that this could happen again. But before we get to that, Gidget, you are the first to act here. What would you like to do? Yes.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
There's two things that I'd like to do.
Great.
I'd like to release my personal defense object.
Amazing.
Between me and where everything is, and
Perfect.
I would like to get started on fixing the.
All right, I love it. So first, spend an overload to activate your PDO. Or sorry, you don't need to activate it. You have the PDO base. If you read the ability, if you activate it, you can give it like extra abilities.
I would
So you
like
can
to
read
give it
that.
water output.
Great, you got it. So spend an overload, and I just imagine like a combination of squirt guns and like those fake flowers are littered across the PDO. Perfect. And so what I'm going to need, so this is going to be basically like a kind of skill challengey thing. You all as allies can get involved as well, but for fixing this is going to be necessary if you want to try and seal this thing back. So first step is going to be a tinkering roll to attempt to find something to replace the core that is now missing. And I believe you picked the bonus to repairing things with that natural 20, did you not? So you give yourself that bonus, please. And Korg, as a reminder, just put a 1 in your benefits box to represent that nat 20 for the whole scene, no matter what you're up to.
Yeah, how do I
Where's
so
that
it's a
box?
tinkering roll, but what is the bonus?
Okay, so what you're gonna wanna remember you give yourself +3 to all your repairing rolls, I believe is what I said.
No, I fixed the air to go.
Oh, that's
bigger.
right. That's
Yeah,
right.
she took the
That's
story
right.
option.
Let's remember. Okay, great. So that's a 21. So I'm going to say basically you believe that what will have to happen is some of the machinery on the lower section is going to need to be disassembled in order to create something that can function as a successful replacement. So that's the next step. But you've gotten past the first step. So that's great. And then for the box for your benefits, Korg, what you're going to do? Say again?
This guy's defense. He is not attacking.
Sounds good.
Defense.
You got it. So Korg, do you see where your hearts are, the wounds? What you're going to want to do is go to the benefits box and put a 1 in there.
All right, we got head, leg, right? That spot.
So keep going down. There should be
benefits.
Like
Bam.
Yep, there you go. So just put a 1 in there, and now you don't have to worry about adding the modifier each time. You'll just get +1 to anything you roll. Great. So that's Gidget's turn. Very successful so far. So once you're ready here, it'll be your go, Korg.
Very well. I'm looking at some of my abilities. Ooh, and I think that I will merely try to use my automata level 2 dozer strength.
Great. To accomplish what?
I am going to basically bulldoze this creature away from everyone else to give us a moment.
Okay, so go ahead, suspend an overload. So what is going to happen is in the modifier box, put a 5 because you're going to get +5 to your strong for this roll. And basically it's going to be an opposed roll between you two to see who wins in that conflict here. So,
all right.
I got a total of 20. So that means you need a 21 or above in order to push this thing out of here.
Close my character. Hang on, wait.
You're good.
Where'd my character go?
Ooh.
Oh, there we
Yeah,
go.
it's the top left. If you just
Main. Okay, and then where's that +5? Where's that go?
So bottom left-hand corner, the little gray box. Click it and hit 5.
Oh. Mm-hmm. Oh, modifier. Boop. All right. Strength. All right, strong. We are going to go. Come on. Dang it.
That's
All
a
right.
19.
Oh.
2 less.
Oh,
You need if you have an ace or your virtue.
Yeah.
Turn that ace.
You know what? I'm gonna. Can I actually get my arms around it and try to hold it and bash? Like
You can, if you want to
Like-
change what you want to do, yes, but right now you failed at whatever you're trying to do.
I
It
will
rolled a
burn
total-
that eighth.
Okay, sounds good. So go ahead and re-roll.
All right.
You
And
recall.
do I still have a +5 on that?
Yes. Yeah. You keep whatever you had
Alright.
going for you here.
Come on.
Nothing better than that.
That's a
That's-
23. So, did you
That
change your mind,
is
or do you
what
want to
I'm talking
continue with
about.
the like football pushing away thing here?
I think I'm gonna just try to grapple it to the ground and
Okay,
push
just
forward.
Push it down. Okay,
Can I say something?
please.
Put it back in the box.
I need you to make a tough roll now, Korg.
Okay. Do I still have a +5?
I believe it's just your strong, not your
Just on the
tough.
strength, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh!
Oh.
So, unless you have an ace or your virtue left,
I have one more ace.
okay,
I'm
you
trying to
might want to use
get
it.
rid of that bit.
Just double click.
I'm gonna use that last ace.
Yeah, I think that
So
might
I'm
be
down
well.
to 0 aces. I'd not get a 0 on this thing. That'd be nice.
Oh, my lord. Okay, so this
Apparently,
was gonna.
I have the same
This is
disease
because-
as Nadja.
Here's the thing. This is because you're a metallic being tackling lightning. So we have two options. Either you are just going to be completely resistant to taking damage because of that fact, or you're going to like still have to roll against taking damage if you continue to be in physical contact with this thing. But just the compositions of metal you are allows you to get an act, because this thing is somewhat solid but is mostly lightning. But with that natural 20, I will say you will be actually able to like physically hold onto it, just not without harming yourself. So it'll be more difficult if you pick being resistant to it, to still hold on to it, but you will not take damage.
Oh, I will take the damage. I have endurance, and it's probably cooler that way because it's kind of like, you know, that Star Wars Return of the Jedi kind of getting shot with
As a
lightning
turnout
sort of
from the
thing.
gameplay. Yeah.
Cool. So you're
Totally
just,
doing that.
so you're choosing to be able to hold it, or you're choosing to be resistant?
I will take the damage, and I
Okay,
will
cool.
hold that thing.
Love it. So with a natural 20, you're not going to take damage this time, but you will see Corey just reach up and just slam this thing into the ground. It is on its back. You can see somehow this sphere of like electrical energy is like compressing underneath the weight of Korg. Maybe when he got built, there was Battle Mithril in the mix. Who knows? But Korg, an amazing first turn. You tackled something that is like twice as big as you and is made of lightning. So if that's not worth celebrating, I don't know what is. So it's now admin and Carol's go. The admin is going to make an opposed roll here against the Eternal to try and gain some control over the machinery. If so, here I'm gonna roll. So admin rolls. Oh, 26. Okay, so admin's doing pretty good here. As long as they don't roll really, really well. Okay, so the nothing's getting worse. The sparking is dying down a little, but you can see the admin is like face is like scrunched up in like effort and exertion as you can see parts of these machines like kind of trying to like screw themselves back in and such like that. Horatio.
Well, I mean, Korg, you're holding it down. I don't know if this is going to do anything, but I'm going to pull out my trusty Harkin Perfect True Shot and try to fire off a couple rounds into it.
Why wouldn't you? So I'm going to give it a definite penalty for being pinned down. So go ahead and roll your accuracy and beat a 4.
Oh God.
It didn't do well. It's being held down by a very strong, very strong robot. So that will hit for sure.
Okay.
So go ahead. That's not an 8, so it's not a headshot. Go ahead and just you can just drag or click that damage box. And it
All
will
right.
roll
I
the
think I
damage.
want to use a I want to use the ability Force of Nature to
Ooh,
grant me +8 damage on
nice.
on
Yeah,
that.
totally. And that's a plus a
So-
D8, I believe, right?
Oh, sorry, yeah, plus D8. I'm sorry.
Great. So go ahead and click
Um,
the damage and then roll an extra D8. And
Okay.
we'll see just how much damage you do to this thing.
All right, there's 10, and then the extra D8. Where's the dice? Oh, they're at the bottom there. Haha.
Yes.
Just drag and
Yep.
drop it inside the. There we go.
Yep.
Haha.
So 16
Ooh.
damage, which is more health than most of you have, as you fire into this Eternal. And it's made of lightning, but you see, first of all, it kind of picks up electricity as it goes, and then the like kind of metallic part, it hits, and like a large chunk breaks off, and there's now this like in the back in the warehouse, like this sparking piece of metal that's no longer part of it. That's certainly not going to take it out, but it did seem to harm it. So that's one standard action. You can
Two
now,
standard actions.
yep. So you can now like move around or do something else if you like.
Could I fire again?
No, unfortunately. So weapons need to be like super. I mean, your perfect is a really good gun. It's not good enough to have the ability to fire multiple times in a round.
It says it's dual vented, can fire multiple
Oh,
times
it
around.
is dual vented.
Yeah.
Oh, it is that good. Please
Nothing
roll
but the
again.
best.
Yes.
All right.
I
here we
forgot it.
go.
That's right. I literally bought you the best pistol I think that kind of exists because that's your
Grateful.
power. So go ahead.
Money is my superpower.
Yeah.
Oh no.
No.
Unfortunately, not going to quite do it unless you want to make some.
You
kind
know
of...
what? I am. Well, I have an ace left over, so I'm
Go
going
right
to.
ahead. Please.
So I can beat an 8.
Can you?
Oh no!
Oh, so technically I could. Here's the thing. Technically, I could activate my courage virtue because I feel like I'm being courageous, standing here and firing, and get one more ace. But I don't know. What are the options
You
here?
can. So, here's the thing. First, there's a critical failure for firing a gun. So, there's basically a 1 in 3 chance that it will hit Korg instead.
No.
And then you will choose. So, here's what I'll say: something that hurts you or everyone else.
I am hard to miss. Ha ha ha.
And if you hurt his property, you are hurting him.
I don't tell you your options on a natural one. You just pick me or everyone else.
Right,
you
so
could
here's
enact
the thing.
courage. You're shooting a massive Eternal.
The player in me just, I swear by the thing of, oh no, if something terrible can happen, let it happen. That makes for good story usually. But oh god, I don't want to
shoot
Korg
in the back.
You know, I'm gonna activate the courage.
This is why you have virtues.
All right, surely I can beat an 8.
Surely you can roll damage. You don't get the extra D8. I will say though, Force of Nature does give that to your allies as well. So everyone else on your next hit against this thing, you will do extra damage. Yep.
Nice. Okay.
I'm being nice. The wording of it, I don't think you're supposed to get it, but I don't care. Awesome. Another 8 damage there. So you just fire off 2 shots in the blink of an eye, taking 2 chunks out of the what is, physical of this Eternal. It's still focused on the robot, keeping it pinned down, but you don't think it's amused at the very least. And in fact, it's going to use its nemesis reaction. From the tail end where it wisps away into lightning, a bolt flies at you. Horatio. Good
That's fair.
So, welcome to combat. So, you now are going to have to make the choice. You're going to either make a defense roll against this thing's attack, which is just your agile modifier. For you, your defense is 0. Or you could use a reflexive action to try and like jump in, try and take cover if there's anything near you, which there really isn't. You could try and like duck and cover. And if you have any reflexive actions that you want to use, you may do that.
I think I have any. I don't have any reflexive actions. So my options are to try to defend or try to dodge. You said.
So basically, you can reflexively act and try and do something that will like help you or prevent this from happening, or you can just make the defense roll. Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Say again. Don't have
okay, so I do have one reflexive action.
Mithril on you.
Oh, that's true. I did get a whole heap ton of as much mithril as I could carry.
You do have like ingots of mithril. So if you would like, you could attempt to parry with mithril. That's right.
Sure. Why? I'm absolutely just gonna panic. Just to panic, like reach into my pack and like pull out just like some random, like mithril bar or something. And
so instead of rolling your defense, which is a 0, I'll let you roll your aware.
Okay.
You're going to basically try and see this in time to kind of block it with this bar of mithril. So you're going to be rolling, and I'm going to be rolling. So you need to beat a 17.
Ooh, okay.
It's possible, for sure.
It's possible.
Not easy. Natural 1. You could only block this for so long. The dice
I'll take damage to me. I'll take damage. I'll let it affect me.
Okay. As this lightning bolt slams into you, I'm gonna take a look. I don't know which I want to do, so I'm gonna roll for it. Actually, I generally don't do this, but I'm gonna
leave
roll.
it to the dice.
Okay. As this bolt of lightning slams into you, and you take 8 damage, which we can get to in a second. First of all, you cannot use your Aether Shield emitter for this, because also it hits directly into your Aether Shield emitter.
Oh no.
And you have now 2 uses left of your Aether Shield emitter, as it almost entirely breaks. It went down from 10 to 2.
Ouch.
Oh god.
I can fix that.
You could certainly, if you wanted to, but as it slams into you, it just starts sparking and like shield.
Oh no! Don't shield.
You think you have maybe a couple good uses left in it, but yeah. So as far as taking damage, you could, if you wanted to, you do have some ping because you were able to buy it. So you could use the ping, because you have 2 ping pods, which is just a delight to say, to ignore the damage completely. Or you can take it to your core HP, or for every wound you take, which will give you a -1 to your rolls, you can reduce the incoming damage by 5.
I mean, why did I spend money on the ping pods if not to use them? So
you got it. So that's going to be the 1 ping pod off of your head, exactly. Actually, sorry, not off your head, the one on your chest, because it was by your Aether Shield emitter. But yes, as this lightning bolt is basically just consumed into the ping pod, and which then just kind of like explodes a bit. Not quite what it was meant to deflect, but managed to get it there because it was a ranged attack, and I'll be nice. So we're gonna come to the Eternals round. So Korg, you are right up in this thing's business. So I think it's gonna be an attack against you. Was there anything you want to do in reaction to that other than trying to defend yourself?
This is my surprised face.
Of course. So I am coming at you with a 17. So go ahead and roll your defense then, and try and beat that.
Where's defense? Oh,
Mm-hmm.
right, and do my-
Right on the top right, underneath the picture.
Oh, defense.
Yes.
Reflexive actions. Oh, wait. I don't know.
There we go.
There's my portrait. See it?
Ooh,
There it is.
I don't know where the 1,000 came from. Oh, cool. Gotcha.
Oh.
So go ahead and do you see it? Where you at?
I got reflexive action, move, damage resistance.
On the
Why am I
top
not
of
seeing
that section, above initiative and move.
Oh yeah.
Defense
Underneath
with
your
the
little
dots.
pictures on the main tab.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the main tab. Yep. No.
You drag the
maybe.
page down. It might not be showing the whole thing.
Yeah, it must be covering it or something.
Gotcha.
No, No, my first thing I can see is move.
Here, go ahead and just roll a
here we go.
d20 then. Oh, there you go.
Defense.
Okay, great.
Oh, I've yeah.
Go ahead and roll it.
Sorry about that.
You're good.
Mm.
That's a 19. That
so
will
Hey.
beat its attack. And so it kind of claws and tries to, surge through you and past you, but no such luck. It is stuck where it is. Nadja, what do you want to do?
So first I would like to move away from the piece of machinery that is malfunctioning
Wise.
behind me. So I guess I'll move. How far am I able to move?
So your move is 6, so you can move 6 squares.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is this like? There's like a gray square in the bottom right side of the room that's kind of crackled looking.
Yeah. So that is a piece of machinery that's actively giving off electricity. So maybe not the safest thing right now.
Okay. Well, that's why I wanted to know what it was. Man, there's
Good-
something good to
good
hide
eye.
behind. Yeah, I guess I'll just go over here.
All right. Sounds good.
And then I'll use what happens if you go above your limit?
take damage.
For...
You just
How much?
start taking, so as much as you're above your limit. So if you're 4 out of 3, you just take 1 damage.
Okay. Well, I'm going to use introspection, which brings me to my limit.
Okay.
And that'll be my action.
Great. All right. And well, it is the end of the round now. Is that how does the introspection work again? Yes. So, oh, hey, and bring that overload back down.
Oh,
So,
thank you.
So go ahead. Basically, I will say I think introspection just is. So what would you like to do with that last action since you are the end of the round currently?
Wait, so introspection isn't a thing?
So it's so it's not an ability you need to activate. It's a permanent thing that if you do this happens. Yep.
I see.
Yes. Yes.
All right, well then I will do... Yeah, I will get my weapon ready and activate one breath release.
Yay!
Great.
Yeah.
Our assassin
Yeah.
of death will save us. Will save us again, just like she did before.
Oh,
We'll see.
Yes, done it.
great. All right. So you can go ahead and fire that off because nothing else that you need to do is gonna need to wait for it. So go ahead and make a tech bow shot.
All
And I
right.
will make my not good defense roll.
Well, if
because
you
it's-
say that, I feel like...
it's 13. That's all you gotta beat.
No.
Ooh.
No.
Well, actually, though, roll a d6 because you
right.
add an extra d6 to all of your
Okay.
actions
Come on, baby.
at the bottom of the round.
No.
Well, here's the thing. You currently have one
Well.
reflexive action. If you choose to give that reflexive action up, meaning you can't react to anything until your next turn, you get a +2. Which will
Oh yeah,
put you
let's
over
do
the
it. Yes.
Okay, so that means that you
That's
will
neat.
exactly hit. So go ahead and roll your damage.
Yeah.
This thing is. Oh, and you have a +1. We'll save that for your next roll, whatever you're doing next, since you already succeeded. But go ahead.
Awesome.
Give me that damage.
It looks like my oh, never mind. Okay.
Give it.
There we go.
It's just right there. Yeah, you haven't had to roll damage for your bow yet. Amazing. 9 points of damage as this arrow fires in, and roll another d6 because it's to your damage, not just your rolls.
Wow.
I love
Yeah.
this.
It's the price of going last and not
Yes.
reacting. Oh, and also I believe the +2 also applies to the damage. So that's going to be 13 total damage to the
Right.
Saturn, which is a not insignificant sum here.
Sweet.
As this thing, you can see it's starting to crumble a bit and fall apart.
Does she still get a +8 from my? Does she still get a +8
and a
damage
plus a
from my thing?
d8 from.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, I think that's a good point, voice that only we can hear.
Good.
I think
Art,
we
you just
really
yelled
need
that our assassin
some
was
kind. We need some kind of inspiring something. What inspires the group to be a force of nature?
I will actually turn. I turn. I'm just like, oh, thank God, Naja, you're the solution to all our problems.
Great. Go ahead and roll an extra d8.
So I'm inspiring you with guilt.
Amazing. I don't feel guilty at all, though.
No regrets from Naja. 15 damage. Okay. Amazing. I love it. So that's going to be Naja's go. Back up to the top with Gidget.
Oh, hey! It occurs to me that that I'm trying to close the box when the thing's already out of the box. So if I can repurpose some of the equipment, the box equipment, to try and contain it up here, is that a reality?
Anything's possible. So here's going to be my question. How quickly do you want this? Because it would take a while without any chaos, but you could, of course, invoke some chaos to make this maybe a faster process. So, as a reminder, you can apply up to 3 applications of chaos, which is an exponential increase in ability. But as a reminder, 1 application you need higher than a natural 5, 2 higher than a natural 10, 3 higher than a natural 15. So how major do you want to go here?
I'm not entirely sure I understand the question.
Sorry. Okay. So you can.
Like I'm rolling a d20 to get the thing that I want to do.
Yes. And so you can invoke chaos to make it better, right? You can do that.
If I don't invoke chaos, it's going to take like 4 rounds.
It's going to take a while, yeah, because this is like a pretty complicated machine. Sure. So 1 application is like.
I would like to turn to Gidget and say, if you could make some sort of trash can right quickly so that I could throw it in it, that would be grand.
So basically,
where I'm going with this.
The more chaos, the higher chance of chaos, and but the greater the effect. Like 1 chaos is like doubling, like having the time. 2 chaos is like very much shorter, and 3 chaos is like instant.
If I go with 3 chaos, would I be able to do it in this 1 round?
Yes, but in order for it to do what you want, not chaos, you need to get higher than a 15 on your die. So you need to roll a 16 or higher.
No perks or anything. No.
Yeah. So the total matters for like how successful you are, but if the what's on the die is 15 to 1, chaos happens instead.
There we go. was just checking to see what the comments have to say.
Yeah.
They're all kind of going towards the chaos. So
Sure. I mean, why wouldn't you, right?
yeah, it's 11. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah. Roll for chaos.
Yeah.
Go ahead. So
All
give
right.
me a tinker roll.
Okay.
We're looking for 16 and up.
Oh,
Okay.
Oh.
So that doesn't clear even the second application of chaos. You do have 2 aces.
Oh, yeah. Burn those aces.
Ace back.
Okay. Go ahead. Go ahead and re-roll.
Oh,
Still not high enough.
Oh.
Still.
two more.
Okay.
It's the end of the night.
come on, get it.
Ah!
Yeah.
You do have also you have your virtue, which is compassion.
I'm
It-
trying to save
trying to
everyone.
I think that's very compassionate, which will get you 1 more reroll.
I'm actually, honestly, trying to save. I know if I.
And there's a
don't-
+1.
You also get a +1,
Oh,
which doesn't help with the
no.
chaos.
Oh.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna vamp a little bit to see how invested the audience is, but just as a note, because I'm nice, I'm going to say you can choose whether there's
Another
an
ace.
extra ace from
Roll
McSherry.
those
Thank you
aces
so
in there.
much. Come on, one more.
Come on, Gidget.
Come on.
Big money.
This is why I don't go to Vegas.
Ah! No! Oh,
I know I
Okay.
was risking it all at the 3
Hey.
chaoses,
hey.
but I
Love
really
it.
wanted
So-
them to.
Does
I'm going to be kind. Do you want this to be on the technology, the target as defined by chaos, to be the technology or the eternal? Because chaos can be good or bad or a lot of between. So I'll let you decide since it's kind of ambiguous.
Well, let's go with the.
I mean, the
Yeah.
eternal is a little more fun because it has the potential to
So
really.
the way, just so I'm clear, there's
Yep.
the way that the chaos roll works is the chaos is going to happen no matter what. But
No,
you
if
need to get
Gidget had rolled 16 or higher, no chaos, just the increased effect from invoking it.
a chaos roll is never, there's no additions to it. It's always just a straight up roll.
Yeah. Well,
Got
so you do have the additions, right? Like the total matters in terms of also helping with the success, but basically
But
chaos.
the additions don't apply to the chaos. Got it.
Exactly, whether or not it's chaotic. So go ahead. I believe you should just have gotten the chaotic aether table.
I did.
Go ahead and just roll me a d100. The target or random target in the effective area has a doll appear in their hand. Anything that happens to this doll will also happen to the target. This doll lasts into the end of the episode and becomes a heartless doll themselves. So this is to also triple chaos. So as you are you cobble some together and you toss it at this
No,
thing.
it's what I'm using magnetism and
Okay.
cables, wires. I'm trying to create a ground that actually creates like kind of a Faraday cage around this entity that keeps it combined. And I'm just gonna kind of roll the ball out there with the
Yeah.
cord, the wire, that all this stuff that I'm pulling out from the thing underneath me.
Great. As it impacts, there is a massive shockwave of aether, and you will have to look away for a second. And as you come to, in everyone's right hand is a perfect clay doll of themselves. In Gidget's left hand is a perfect replica of the Eternal. And floating in the middle of the room is a perfect scale model of the station. Complete with, you can see tiny ship and ballista. What do you want to do?
That was not my desired effect. I am so sorry. Do we swap?
Everyone just
dolls?
has dolls now.
I don't know. That was unexpected.
I
was
put mine in my pouch.
Great.
I stick
You kind of
with
feel
it.
like you're like hit by something, like something soft or metallic, but nothing like injuring.
So I take
So the Eternal's gone?
No, everyone's still here. There's just dolls now.
I take the Eternal doll and I
Yeah.
stick it in my marsupial like overall pouch.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I try to figure out what I did wrong.
As you kind of stick it in, you see the Eternal kind of like scrunches, like is squeezed down a little as like the doll's kind of pressed in by whatever else is inside that pouch. You can see it like being like compressed down unnaturally. Yeah. Are you just gonna like start flicking it? Yeah, it starts flying in the air. Can I get a strong roll as you are now being bucking Brontoed, our good Korg friend?
Oh yes.
As supernatural forces like flicking this thing up and down like it's a rag doll.
Get in there.
Or maybe a doll.
Oh.
Okay.
No!
Oh no.
So Korg, you go flying unless we're acing that or re-rolling that.
Well, no, I got no more aces. However, I do have this ability,
Endurance?
and it is about to be. Yeah, I do have endurance.
But you also have
Yeah,
an
I mean, I
ability.
do have endurance.
Want to do? What's
Well,
the ability you're thinking about?
well, see, is there somewhere this thing needs to go? Like, is there like a?
I mean,
did you make a thing
clearly
for
there
it?
was no. That was they attempted to, and instead everyone got dolls.
Ah,
Including you,
Okay.
Korg. You've got a doll too.
Yeah,
What's your doll
I
doing?
do.
it's. I mean, it's in everyone's hand.
Oh man. Well, no. Well, I guess that's not gonna let me do whatever that was. All right. I will just hold on and do endurance and try
Okay.
to squeeze this little. Just try to hold on to it.
Yeah. Hey, you got. Oh, you don't even have to use
All
endurance
right.
yet. Go and just re-roll free from the audience, being very kind.
Let's see what happens. Dun, dun, dun. Come on. Strong, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or tough?
Strong.
Okay, strong.
It's a 2. Would you like to enact
No.
endurance and roll one more time?
Yes,
Or you can just take
I
it.
would.
Okay, cool.
I'm gonna hold on to this thing. I'm gonna
You
use
got
my
it.
endurance. Come
Korg.
on. No!
3, 2, 1, blast off. Okay. Wow.
Well, the next roll has to be a 20, right?
Sure.
Yeah,
Do you
fine.
have an ace
Technically how it works.
or something? No.
I am out.
Okay. So this is going to be something that either impacts you or everyone else.
He says while there's a
let's-
floating voodoo station in the middle of the room.
I'm just gonna absorb all this electricity.
Yeah, that's what's going to
It's
happen.
what I've been trained to do.
Mhm.
Oh, Korg.
So, Korg, you are bucked off, so to say, as Gidget just like toys with the doll of the Eternal. You fly through the air and slam into the wall. In the process, your doll gets a little squished.
Oh, no.
What I need from you is I need you to roll a d20.
All right. Straight up D20.
Just a straight d20. Okay.
How about a 2?
Buddy.
You so that's not a great result. So you now have 12 maximum core HP. as you get
Ooh.
crushed a bit by you accidentally holding onto the doll, maybe a little tight on the impact. That can maybe be fixed, but you basically just got crushed. You didn't take 8 damage.
Can
You now have
I-
12 total health. Yes.
Is there
Can-
any chance that I can use my getting flashy ability to actually throw my doll before I land on it?
That sounds like
as
chaos, but
it-
yeah, of course.
With a crooked smile and a wink, the Jack makes a trick shot, ranged attack with a thrown item. And
Yeah.
it can have one of the following effects. To trigger a simple mechanism, such as a switch or lever, or make an aimed attack, or bounce up to 3 times for coming in range. So,
So you could 100% toss this somewhere that you deem safe. I'm gonna say that unless you want to add extra chaos, this is gonna be 1 invocation of chaos, so it'll cost 2 overload. Also, sorry, real quick, Mab, that cost 4 overload, by the way.
4 overload.
4 overload. 1 for the, or
I'm
sorry,
gonna-
3 because you weren't really using the ability, so 3. Yes.
I'm gonna toss myself at the. Well, I guess if I can make that trick shot, I'm gonna toss it in where our ship should be in the space station.
Okay.
So that my little guy can go to the ship.
Cool.
Go to the ship.
So we'll call that 1 application of chaos. So what you're gonna do? Spend 2 overload, and then go ahead and make a roll. We'll call it agile, and you need to get higher than a natural 5. Otherwise, it's
All right.
hey. But now Gidget, you get an overload reduce. So
Oh, all right.
put that down by 1.
I'm making an agile roll.
Yep.
No.
Really?
Seeing this virtual dice.
That should have been a 20.
No. Okay.
Now,
And you're
with-
throwing it at the station.
with
So-
the although with these. Oh, it does
Buddy.
have to make a shot. Okay.
Buddy.
Mm.
Was it 1 chaos?
Man, that
was
has
the
been a
impact?
3,
One.
2, 1, 2, and a 1.
So this is going to be a chaos effect on your voodoo doll. So you should have a thing that just popped up on your fantasy grounds that says chaotic table 100. Just click on the place where it says roll with the d20 on it, if you could.
Roll.
All
90.
living beings in the affected area lose all personality, becoming flat, 2-dimensional beings mentally until the end of the scene.
Oh my god.
You toss
How does that?
this figure, it hits the ground, and as it does, there's like a. And all of you are just nonplussed about everything.
So it's like so.
Nothing
This it's kind of we're just like we're very just meh. That's the,
Everything is the same baseline reaction. Nothing is good, nothing is bad. It is just all gray. However flavor you want to do that. As you clatter to the wall, clam against some machinery, but are otherwise okay. Yeah, and so as all of you feel this effect wash over, you see this Eternal kind of look around, shrug, and just start like floating away.
I have no feelings about that.
Indeed, that is something that just happened.
Okay.
Terrific.
Perhaps we should
Huh.
leave.
I
You
mean, I
could,
guess so.
or
There's
you
nothing to
could
do
not.
here.
We're carrying all the mithril that we are able to. it seems that we have completed our objective. We have researched, looked into the distress signal, answered its call, found Mithril. What more is there to do?
Fair enough.
Technically speaking,
I
we ought to contain the eternal.
It
It
seems
was.
like
It
not a big
seems.
deal.
It seemed to have
It's-
been imprisoned, probably
It's-
against its will. Is it not fair to let it go?
I
It,
don't have.
it's
anything.
gone now. I mean, it's gone. So
Terrific.
Okay.
you know what? Let's just leave.
Does
We're all
Cork
good.
3000 considered a living being?
Yes. Sentient.
I
So,
think there are some windows that might need polishing on the ship.
That sounds
Yeah. I mean, my
Some-
God, if there's literally only one thing in the world I care about, it is the cleanliness of my ship. So we should probably be getting to that. I start
It has-
heading up.
It has
Oh.
been multiple stimuli to meet all of you. I will or will not see you again.
Likewise. Oh,
Okay.
Do you need a job
Right.
since your entire base is now not functioning properly?
There is an emergency power unit which will keep me from perishing. It would, if you had the time, bringing a new power source could help out, I guess. But I'll be
we'll
okay.
see. Job. That reminds me. Oh, Bernard and Cheryl.
Bernard.
Let's go back to the ship.
I think I used to hate him.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound like you.
Meh.
Also, I have, if at some point you could bring someone who knows robotics really well to help with, forget it. I had this pipe dream about trying to revive the crew members by trying to awaken all of these automata, but it's not that big a deal.
Yeah,
Your request has been noted.
put a pin in that. We're out.
Is that other robot still running around that's in memory of the woman?
Carol?
Yeah, it's just standing there like doing nothing. It's already not operating at a high level, and so making it blank just like it's just not even doing anything.
So I guess my question is, if we were to hypothetically if we went and just got on the ship and everything and just took, like, how long would it be before we were just like things kicked back in? I guess maybe that's part of the mystery of chaos.
Mm-hmm. Chaos isn't
Long
like a
after
known
we left.
thing. You're not gonna be like, oh, I know this kind. No, this is just chaos. Nobody knows.
Now I'm literally taking the doll of the Eternal with me.
Cool.
Because it's not in my hand and I don't know to.
Okay. And so the fun thing I think we can end on is as the ship is pulled out and the
Wait, I have one more thing I wanted
Please.
to do.
Yes.
I wanted to give Carol her cat, her porcelain cat.
Oh,
Oh,
she
This-
has to be able to do that.
Yes, of course. Please. This registers something within my memory bank. It
Maybe
is a
it will-
stimulus.
Perhaps it will mean something to you later. And
Perhaps.
then them.
Yes. And I love the idea of we get the shot of the ship leaving the bay. I'm gonna say the crew is also completely under this effect too. And then as you all leave, like as you're like far enough away that it'd be like a whole like fuel would be a thing, and all of a sudden you're like, wait, we had so much more we could have done there. and
I feel like
that's where the scene just cuts to black and it says like fiend.
I feel like that's the post-credit scene. Like, so we
Yes!
just walked on there, the
Yes!
credits roll, and
Okay.
then it's like so it's just we're sitting there in the ship, and then so like.
The end scene is we just get a nice long shot of this machine, which we get like an out of character like employee picture of Carol side by side the automata, which is made almost in a similar likeness, kind of looking down at the cat statue, and then yes, we get credits rolling, and then the post credits is wait, no, because you all realize that there were things left undone at the end. So that, everyone, is like,
Yay!
Thank you all, and applause for you wonderful cast. So I know we are coming right up on that end time, so let us quickly go around the table. Please tell us about Nat21 a little bit, and go ahead and plug yourselves and whatever shows you're in, et cetera, et cetera. So, of course, just start with that. The man who's been slightly off camera all session, Paul, why don't you go ahead and tell us a bit about yourself and promote yourself.
Well, I'm Paul Garbanzo, and we started this Nat21 Adventures a year ago or thereabouts, and we've just prided ourselves in doing cosplay, and we're all performers from around the country, and we were all suddenly out of work, so we started doing this. And now, fortunately, I'm back at the Maryland Renaissance Festival for 4 more weekends, and then I go to Texas Renaissance Festival in October, so you can see me perform live there. Otherwise, we're on Nat21. We have shows pretty much Sunday through Thursday nights, and we're always there in costume doing some crazy fun stuff. There you go.
Awesome. Rowan.
Sure. Well, I will be performing with my music duo, Two Bard Party, at the Pennsylvania Renaissance Fair starting September 18th and going through the end of October. But if you can't swing by there, if you're in a different locality, the main project I've been working on this year is calling it the Star Shanty Project, which is on my YouTube channel. If you just look for Rowan the Bard on YouTube, that is where I take basically I write sea shanties about Star Wars, and I might branch off into other stuff too. But I also do live concerts periodically on that channel. So that's where most of my stuff is happening right now.
Awesome. And Mab, just Mab.
Hi. I'm Mab, just Mab. I am started from Sudge, but I did tour with Paul, with the Accidental Circus, as well as a few other projects. But nowadays, I can be found managing back end of Nat21 Adventures, FaceTime there, and I'm also creating a lot of the merchandise of the stickers and their swag. Yeah, so it's a lot. It's fun. I'm having a good time.
Amazing. Thank you so much for being here. And last but never least, please and tell us about
once again, my show is Adamo Ignis. It is actually spelled wrong in this banner, so I'm going to put like 3 little hearts in the chat so you can see the right spelling.
Yes.
But I do fire eating, fire breathing, fire dancing, also at Renaissance fairs. I will also be at the Pennsylvania Renaissance Fair starting on September 18th. Yes, we're going to see each other in real life. And I'll be there for 7 weeks, and then I'll be in New Orleans for 3 weeks, and I'm in Connecticut this weekend. So if you're in any of those areas, please come out, say hello. I'd love to see you and talk about this game because I'm going to be gushing for the foreseeable future.
Oh, good. Huzzah. And I, of course, am Robbie Rowland. Yes, Paul?
Oh, I just wanted to thank all of our Nat21 faithful followers who have joined us here tonight, and Reverend Tommy, who's usually moderating our Twitch stream, but he's just here causing chaos tonight. But I do want to thank everybody from Nat21 who showed up So thank you all for being great and being here on this show.
Yes, right back at you all. You all were a wonderful cast. If you all RFKs people have not checked out Nat21, please do yourself a favor. The level of cosplay and characters, it's delightful. When I first stumbled upon y'all, I knew it was like, okay, we gotta do something. And for anyone who's new to the channel, here we do the Teen Beast Power Hour on Monday nights. We do Roll Charisma, which is our talk show style show, every Tuesday. Wednesdays we're chill for now, and then Thursday, Friday we have back-to-back actual plays of this system, Aether and Steamworks, which just had its newest ultimate release, its final form, released on a drive-through RPG. The wonderful spiritual head of RFKS, who does all this wonderful art that you see here today, made the video, made the book, made the rules. The wonderful Ty just released it out. So if you want it, it's there to buy it. If you liked this, maybe leave a review about it. As far as the system, would mean a lot to him. He deserves all the praise because truly brilliant. But also, starting in 2 weeks on Saturdays, there will be a new show called the The Unremarkables, run by me. Which we will be playing Masks, the Next Generation, with a truly amazing cast. I cannot wait for you all to meet them. So come check us out in 2 weeks on Saturday. That's us. Feel free. I'm sure there'll be links for our Discord. And feel free if you want to put the link for the Nat21 Discord, if that's a public Discord. I don't even know.
Absolutely. Yes.
As well, if you want to join and talk about the games, maybe play some Aether and Steamworks yourself. But thank you all so much for being here, both you four, and of course, huge thank you to the audience. You are wonderful. Thank you for everyone who is redeeming and chatting around. And as always, just stay wonderful and just do that by being you.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
thank you all
thank you so
the
much.
RF Chaos fans. You're awesome.